approach to uplift the 4 billion women on the planet to create better futures for themselves and ultimately achieve gender equality. We are celebrating our 8th anniversary. I'm proud to say the WEDO movement is stronger than ever, with an incredible army of over 300 global ambassadors with over 250,000 members leading and celebrating Women's Entrepreneurship Day and championing WEDO movement in 144 countries. We are empowering women and girls to take an active role in the economy and igniting a network of women leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs to launch startups, drive economic expansion, and strengthen communities around the world. Our mission is to catalyze positive social change and economic growth from the ground up, especially for the 2.5 billion people unbanked that are mostly impoverished women, and to celebrate, empower, and support women entrepreneurs. With the continuing economic downturn due to the COVID-19, women and minorities have been the hardest hit sectors of our global economy. The devastating impact of the pandemic on women-owned businesses threatens to reverse decades of economic gains achieved by these very women. An alarming report by Oxfam International shows us that in 2020 alone, women around the world lost more than 64 million jobs, the equivalent of 5% of the total jobs held by women globally. In addition, this loss of jobs due to the pandemic cost women around the world at least $800 billion in earnings, a figure that is more than the combined GDP of 98 countries. Investing in women has never been a higher priority or more critical. Yet, women continue to defy the odds in the face of the pandemic. We are an undeniable, unstoppable force. I am here today to remind you to never forget that. We have always known that the future is female. Women entrepreneurs do make a difference. Our foundation, with our partnership with Opportunity International, we are proud to be funding 1,000 impoverished women with microloans to start their entrepreneurial journey, providing these women with a hand up, not a hand out. We are also happy to announce that we have an initiative to fund 100,000 women in Afghanistan with crypto. We are going to be creating a unique peer-to-peer ecosystem through direct access with cryptocurrency. We are providing the funding for these women who suddenly found themselves thrust into crisis after the rapid fall of the government to become more self-sufficient with microloans to start their entrepreneurial journey. This year, we are so excited that we initiated and funded the launch of the very first women's disability startup cohort in partnership with Together International. We are literally providing funding through this partnership with our WEDO network of supporters, including the most amazing Lorene Arbus. This inspiration actually happened last year during Women's Entrepreneurship Day when we interviewed Judy Heumann, the human rights pioneer. She inspired me to think of this amazing idea, and we're so happy that this launched this last year during the anniversary of the American Disabilities Act. And we are super excited that Google for Startups has committed to funding the continued growth of this program. Woohoo! To support women with disabilities to become the best entrepreneurs they can be. I believe there are 5 keys to a woman becoming a successful entrepreneur. You need to have passion. You must absolutely love what you're doing and put your whole heart and soul into your goal. Persistence. You must never, ever give up. You will hear a million no's. However, it just takes one yes to change your life forever. Perseverance. An entrepreneur's journey can be super rough. Remember that you have the power within you to overcome any obstacle or any challenge. And purpose. Find your why, something bigger than you that fills you with passion and purpose. Far more important than financial success is your ability to make a positive imprint on this world. And lots of puppy love, whether it's with a human or a dog. You need to find a person that's going to give you unconditional loyalty, unconditional love, and a lasting bond, because being an entrepreneur is rough. You need someone in your corner, always there for you, supporting you. And I want to share my deepest thanks from everyone a part of WEDO, and including our partners, NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, AWS, UBS, and Ninja Hideout for joining the WEDO mission to support, empower, and uplift women around the world in business. Thank you to each and every one of you for making a difference in the world and joining us. And especially the incredible ambassadors that are part of our movement that are donating their time to make this dream a reality. We do. Women entrepreneurs do make a difference. Never forget that. In actuality, Women's Entrepreneurship Day is not just today, but every day, 365 days a year. So support, empower, and celebrate women in business every day. Together, we will change the world to become a better place for all. Thank you.
Hello. What a kickstart. All the bright and beautiful women of the world with an entrepreneurial soul, dream, and heart. A very good morning, good evening, bozu, and namaskar from Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization, WEDO. I, on behalf of every empowered women from WEDO platform, welcome you all for this historic moment for women in business across the globe. Let us see who we are and at WEDO what we do. Hello, I'm Dr. Sushi Singh, WEDO India Ambassador, an educationist, a painter, a speaker, an air pistol shooter, yes, CEO and founder of a nonprofit, Science Social Responsibility and Research Center, a for-profit 25C company, S2 Education Champs OPC Private Limited, a mother of two compassionate and successful girls. That matters more. As I truly believe that life is a continuous learning process, throughout my journey of 32 years as an educationist, corporate leader, social change agent, and as an entrepreneur, I remained passionate about helping women to achieve financial freedom. I kept on learning and growing while touching more than 3,000 women and 2,500 young students on the road of empowerment. But my happiest day was when I designed and implemented a youth empowerment project for Delhi Police Family Welfare Society and get 600 plus job opportunities in one day through a mega job fair entirely as a single-handed created program. Though I have been acknowledged with national awards and accolades, but what matters more for me is breaking the grass, not the glass ceiling, and pitching in for more and more female leaders across the globe. So I have all the reasons to feel truly delighted and privileged to be here with you all today. Our deliberations for today will contribute to strengthen the message, what our founder just said, that gender equality and women's empowerment, which is the most important undertaking for our societies, economies, and international community, as we enter a new and defining time for sustainable and inclusive development. So, we, the women in business, have joined WEDO to come forward and request you for proclaiming 19th November as World's Women Entrepreneurship Day in your country. Ho, this is how our WEDO founder, Wendy, passionately cheers. She forgot to cheer it in her message. So I like it. I, on behalf of WEDO India chapter, take this opportunity to warmly welcome Wendy Diamond, founder, CEO, Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization, Choose Women, founder, Animal Fair Media Inc., and founder, LDP Ventures, who is the brain behind this establishment and running of this great organization so successfully. All the ambassadors and representatives from 104 countries and all the universities who are joining this summit virtually today. I extend a cheerful welcome to all of them. Thanks and compliments to you all for this wonderful initiative and efforts. Please join me in extending a hearty welcome to all the speakers who shall be brooding over most pertinent part of the entrepreneurship challenges and opportunities for women. I'll be failing in my duties if I do not welcome the real stakeholders of today's event. Yes, our attendees, our viewers, participants from business, academia, media, and community. A warm welcome to you all. On this momentous occasion for WEDO, with visionaries and champions like you all, we are better positioned to keep this trust with our gender equal destiny within a generation and not to wait another century. After this formal welcome part of the event, here comes the integral and the most important part of the today's event, introducing WEDO's dedicated Asia team of selfless women from every strata of Asian countries who had remained dedicated to the cause of supporting catalytic potential of women entrepreneurship in advancing women's economic development. I take this opportunity to call upon our Asia Regional Head, WEDO, Dr. Nisha Kohli, founder, CEO, Nishfin Consulting. Nisha, please kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Sushi. Welcome you all on today's special occasion. And actually, as we say, Women Entrepreneurship Day is not on November 19th only, but it's every day. So let's celebrate this day. Woohoo, as always, Wendy says. So good morning, everyone. Let me begin by thanking our WEDO founder, Wendy Diamond, for trusting in my abilities and providing me this opportunity to serve as Asia Regional Ambassador. Let me also thank our marvelous country ambassadors lined up here today morning, and we have been working tirelessly for the past 1 month from India, Indonesia, Singapore, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka for their impactful actions, not only for this event, but around the year. After all, acronym TEAM, TEAM stands for Together Everyone Achieves More. The great Japanese writer and feminist Hiratsuka once said, in the beginning, women was truly the sun, an authentic person. When I look around today, I feel that he was right. When the world is facing challenges of poverty, climate change, inequality, when businesses have to put people and planet first before profit, we see that it's the women who are shining and lighting up the world, providing healing to dry out the swarms of poverty and unrest. What we need today is economic growth, dynamism, ingenuity. Thankfully, the world has realized that unleashing the economic power of women is the greatest solution to our economic problems. Women are the largest excluded and suppressed group around the world. We need to unlock our potential. We need to shine bright. I'm originally from India, living in Singapore. Proudly belong to a family of entrepreneurs. I always had a dream to become an entrepreneur, which came actually true only before 15 years back when I started my own consulting firm. Before that, I worked in academics, which is one of my passion even today. In 20 years of my marriage, I moved 10 houses and kept on migrating from one country to another, which was very challenging for my career, but highly rewarding. I not only gained wide cultural exposures, financial freedom, but a lot of confidence, and I treasured my innermost potential by becoming an entrepreneur. I feel that a lot of it is still hidden and waiting for opportunities and support. It is said that behind every successful woman, there's a tribe of other successful women who have her back. And I am happy and excited that I have WEDO's back now. And even more happy that I'm part of this tribe who is becoming a back of those who deserve the best. A lot of women in Asia have great talent and hidden potentials, but there are a number of obstacles which hinder their progress. The growth is hampered by inequalities across the region, particularly by gender inequalities. And there's great diversity, if we know, like geographically, culturally, economically, politically. Yet all countries, in all the countries, women encounter similar issues, the socio-cultural barriers which restricts them to engage in entrepreneurship. Now, to break these barriers and to unlock the freedom of women, similar to the freedom that I gained about 15 years back, I feel entrepreneurship is the key. Supporting female entrepreneurship is particularly important in these tough COVID times. Many Asian economies are dependent on tourism, which is not happening. Many people have lost their lives in India, and widows are left with small kids to feed. WEDO, through education initiatives, is playing an important role in this regard. Women don't have time to pursue such opportunities as they are expected to do household duties. WEDO supports women by tailor training initiatives to the need of women entrepreneurs. Accommodating varying skills level and business stage requirements, we offer targeted business training programs. Women are born networkers, and we all know that the Business 101 is all about networking and collaborating. So by joining the WEDO platform, WEDO facilitates outreach programs and create awareness about business associations and networks. We encourage transnational links and experience sharing between network of women entrepreneurs across different countries through our platform. So stay tuned to our WEDO platform, and you'll see that throughout the next year in 2022, lots of events, lots of things are going to happen. And cheers to our WEDO ambassadors. Woohoo! Thank you.
Thanks, Nisha. So powerful a message and so impressive a journey you had till so far. I agree with your views, as we all know that if women and men stood on identical footing in terms of participation in the economy, through paid work and entrepreneurship, the world could see as much as $28 trillion in global growth by 2025. However, as Wendy pointed out, that some 70% of the women workers are employed or self-employed in informal jobs, which are insecure, unprotected, and poorly paid. A number of constraints on women entrepreneurship lead to unequal economic opportunities and outcome compared to men. So, Dr. Nisha, together with WEDO dedicated Asia ambassadors, designed this summit to say it all. Kudos to us. Team Asia WEDO rocks. Now it's time to introduce one of our dear friend, WEDO ambassador Louis Lai from Singapore. Louis, please, over to Louis.
You're muted, Louis.
Louis.
Yes. Hello, good morning. So, woohoo! We are the tribe of women, whether successful yet, but we are striving to be successful. So I thank you all for being who you are today, striving for your businesses and entrepreneurship. And thank you for WEDO. And I don't need to, sort of like go through thanking, the organization. That's so great. I'll just focus on, celebrating today as a woman entrepreneur. And many of you are tuning in today. I'm Louis Lai from Singapore and Singapore chapter. If you are interested to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. But today I'm actually want to sort of introduce myself. I recently relocated back to Singapore after spending 20 years abroad, started off my own entrepreneurship. And the journey, as explained by Wendy, our founder earlier, is quite challenging. Entrepreneurship is never easy. So I'm very happy to be connected here on WEDO, that we are able, to come together and support each other, giving, experiences, sharing experiences, and, getting inspired, as well as giving inspiration. So what I care about in Singapore is actually building women empowerment from ground up. So previously, during my experience in entrepreneurship abroad, I have actually piloted a lot of projects on the ground in mainly rural areas, empowering women in rural areas for their entrepreneurship. So I am here back in Singapore, trying to gather female entrepreneurs together, join us in this cause, and together we will rock and make tomorrow a better place for all of us. And woohoo, keep up the spirit. Thank you.
Wow. Keep inspiring, Lois. And you really remind us the opening remarks of PM Mario Draghi at G20 Rome Summit side event on supporting SMEs and women-owned businesses to build forward better. Women entrepreneurs are unstoppable. Thank you so much. Now I welcome WEDO Indonesia Ambassador Patricia, who shall introduce herself. Patricia, please.
Thank you, Sushi. Thank you again, everybody. Welcome to the first summit that we have for Asia. We do. My name is Patricia Susanto from the Indonesian chapter, together with Michela here. And this is the first time we have an Indonesian chapter, and we're excited to have more WEDO members. And we'll see that the Indonesian chapters is going to hopefully create a big impact for not just women, but for the society as a whole. Because I believe from my experience and we're working in the consulting industry for the past 20 years, that the women in the C-level, in the middle managerial level, create a ripple effect that create not just now, but invested in the future of the business, invested in the future of the society, and focusing more on the family itself. I'm from a Jakarta consulting group, and we do management consulting for Indonesian companies, trying to build a different type of business that is sustainable, that is focused on long-term investment as well. And I'm very excited to be here, and hopefully we have a great conversation, and we hope that Indonesian can actually create an impact for the WEDO activities. Thank you, Sushi.
Thanks, Patricia. That was awesome a journey as an entrepreneur. And I'm sure dynamic leadership of entrepreneurs like you all will bring a paradigm shift in developing entrepreneur culture amongst women in Indonesia. It's time to join hands and welcome and hear the exciting introduction of our fierce fighter, Tuna Girl. I like the name. Tuna Girl, being a vegetarian, my name is Sushi, but Tuna Girl, Michela, WEDO Indonesia ambassador. Please come forward and introduce yourself. Michela, please.
I think Michela got cut off. I'm sorry, Sushi, but I think Michela got cut off.
Okay, we will call Michelle again. So now, may I take this opportunity to heartily welcome our other India ambassador from East Zone, Dr. Rosalind Mishra. Rosalind, introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, namaskar. First of all, real womanhood celebration happens 365 days, which in the beginning, our Dr. Nisha ji had already mentioned, and special thanks to Sushi ji for being the best moderator today, to bring the spark, to bring that light within us, to motivate so much, to do a lot for another many years, I can say. And special thanks to Wendy Diamond, for whom this could be possible, for her initiatives and great visions is carrying. Together, we all have been doing so much, but we all have to do a lot through proper strategy, planning, and implementation. I'm glad to be a part of this program. Thank you each one for being part of it. And today I would like to request to all our women entrepreneurs who all are so independent, vibrant, and intelligent. They can contribute, so they have been contributing, no doubt, but they should be determined, they should be more focused to contribute for the needy girls of this country, as United Nations have the theme technology, which we also have today, how we are able to utilize our theme in the right way, right direction, because in this country, especially in India, we have so much to do. If we all really think of bringing changes, then I believe it's not about only city, number of cities are growing, but we all need to think to bring changes in the rural India. And for that, let me repeat, Madam Susi Singh, Madam Bandita ji, and myself, together, we have been doing, we will do, and we will continue this journey. So once again, I would like to thank Dr. Nisha Kohli ji, who had introduced me to this group and learning a lot. I think this is the beginning of everything, long way to go. And again, thanks everyone. I would like to introduce our speaker, not now, the moment I'll be getting the chance, I'll welcome her again. So let's start, and all the best to each one to rock and to do a lot. Okay, take care. Oof, hoop.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Rosalind. I really compliment you for the wonderful work you do through your organization, especially for rural India, and addressing the critical problems being faced by women entrepreneurs, desirous of taking up entrepreneurial journey, the aspiring students. Thank you once again. Now, may I take this opportunity to invite my other colleague, the WEDO India Ambassador from South John, Ms. Vandita Tiwari. Vandita, please. Vandita, are you here?
Thank you, Sushi. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Wish everyone a very happy Women Entrepreneurship Day. I am Vandita Tiwari, founder of Coco Wing, supported by multiple SDGs. It's an environmental friendly company based in Bangalore, India. And the word coconut is included in our name. So we use a lot of coconut shells and coils to make a variety of product. And without using pesticides, our goal is to have a healthy soil and thus a healthy plant. As a woman entrepreneur, I had my fair share of challenges and roadblocks in my career. And these issues inspired me to form WEN India, a non-profit organization dedicated to assisting women in small business and startups. And today we mark the end of 2 years run for WEN. Since 2020, I have been a WEDO ambassador for South India. Thank you, Wendy Diamond, for founding this organization and inspiring us. And I'll close by expressing that I will be following the keywords advised by Wendy: choose women. So we choose women to educate others. We choose women to empower others. We choose women to change the society and the world. We are WEDO team. Thank you.
Wow, Vandita, I was so engrossed. Really an eye-opening introduction indeed. Loved your use of word coconut, indeed. And choose women term. Exposure of women to entrepreneurial activities, which you are doing, is something really praiseworthy. Kudos to you. It's my privilege and welcome and to introduce our newest member of WEDO family now, Ms. Gauri Rajan, WEDO Sri Lanka Ambassador. Gauri, please.
Thank you, Sushi. It's great to be here today, and nice to see women celebrating women on the 19th November. Well, I'm absolutely new to this, and to give a very short background, well, I come from a third generation family business, and I'm also a second generation entrepreneur. It's not about running a business, but what I always believe is it's very important to innovate. And not just innovate, it's important to be sustainable. So if you take Sri Lanka, of course, more than 50% are women, and women account for almost 75% of the foreign exchange earnings in Sri Lanka, whether it is tea industry or apparel, or whether it's even skilled migrant workers. And this year's our government budget has declared that there will be free registrations of new companies. So hopefully with WEDO Sri Lanka, my vision is actually to drive women from workers to being entrepreneurs and to create an environment like that. So I see a positive trend in this direction, especially after the pandemic, where more women are trying to be financially independent, staying at home and earning something. So I look forward to working with all of you.
Thanks a lot, Gauri. You are truly a symbol of hope for all those who are struggling with their family businesses and second generation entrepreneurs. You really remind us the quote that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them, given by Walt Disney, but it fits to you. So last but not the least, we have another new, skilled, powerful, and successful businesswoman with us as a new member. Let us welcome together Ms. Farjana, WEDO Bangladesh Ambassador. Over to Farjana.
Hello, good morning to everyone, and happy Women Entrepreneurs Day. And I'm really delighted and very much happy to be a part of WEDO. The first summit, WEDO summit, I have attended in New York in 2019 as a member of Entrepreneurs Organization. I represent as a women ambassador. Sorry for my, excuse me. So, and I met Wendy, and that was the turning point. And I'm really excited that Wendy has invited me to join here. And I thanked Dr. Nisha. My journey started, I have a diverse working career in microfinance and then commercial banking, and then gone into insurance. So it's a very diverse working career. And then we have started empowering women since day one. And I have been invited to attend many International Women's Summit and a part of World Economic Forum as well. I actually represent the advisory board of the New Champions community in World Economic Forum. The work that we do in our organization, that 50% of the population of Bangladesh is women. And I have brought in the first unique concept of the comprehensive insurance package for women, which not only had the insurance coverage, but also had a support for access to the value-added services like access to banking products, access to information, access to bank loans, and access to law enforcement agency. So that product, Nivedita, created a holistic approach for improving the livelihood of women from all walks of life. That is how we have reached out more than 650,000 women across Bangladesh. And this concept was recognized by the United Nations in 2016. And I have been the SDG pioneer in women economic security. And since then, the journey started. And we not only are working for the women in all walks of our life, but also in terms of their training, in terms of their security, healthcare. And we're working with the Ministry of Healthcare in Bangladesh, where we have brought in health insurance for women in the marginal segment, and covering women from all villages. That was also recognized by the World Economic Forum. We got the Excellence in Sustainability Award for that. And the other thing is also we embrace the technology. Technology is an enabler, and that has really helped us reach out women and bring them out from their comfort zone and bring them in the decision-making process. That was the key point. And we not only have insurance service, but also we support women entrepreneurs in tech startups as well. So this is how we are creating a holistic approach, an ecosystem for women to come forward and take decisions in not only in their home, but also in the business, and also contribute to the economic environment of the country. So I'm really thankful, WEDO, for inviting me, and that's what we do. And let's empower women. Let's break the glass, and also just let's take this world to a better place. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thanks a lot, dear Fizana. What a multifaceted personality you are. So you have more experiences than all of us on WEDO platform, actually. Having an experience of staying myself in your country for 3 years and facing challenges of starting a new school in adverse circumstances makes me feel more proud of you and your achievements in global arena. Your comprehensive insurance packages implementation in a developing country matters a lot. And your holistic approach to give livelihood to all the women in Bangladesh deserve really kudos. My big salute to you. You are certainly reminding me, saying the former First Lady Michelle Obama. Thank you. Failure is an important part of your growth and developing resilience. Don't be afraid to fail. I don't think you are ever afraid to fail. So with the efforts of all the above mentioned ladies, before I start with the next part of the program, may I look for Michelle? Michela here? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay. Can I? Yeah. So let me formally welcome Michela again, Tuna Girl. Who I love her name, Tuna Girl, more than anything else. So over to Michela, our WEDO Indonesia ambassador. Please introduce.
Thank you. Sorry, classic lights out in a third world country. But anyway, I'm so grateful being here. Very truly honored and humbled beside all of you here. But I think, the most important part for us is actually we feel a lot, and we appreciate and we are grateful that all the privileges that we have, all the access that we have. And I think that is the most big drive for me personally, because I feel responsible, to actually flow out all these sharings, all the knowledge, all the network, to be able to use that to somehow try to give a new perspective to people in the world where they feel sometimes overwhelmed with all the and the challenges in the world. How can we actually bring hope to them before anything else? And the reason why I am Tuna Girl is because I'm actually coming from a second.
Hello. Michela, can't hear you.
I think she has network issues or something. We can proceed.
Sure, I can carry on.
Yeah.
So on behalf of Michela, I would love to add to her, in fact, meant that she has already created a wave of awareness and domain knowledge and hand-holdings towards creating successful women entrepreneurs like herself. A big salute to Michela, please. And moving forward, now we have the second phase of our event today. And that is, I'm so excited about, that is today's program of launching our WEDO India website. In fact, all the good work and aspirations of Team WEDO India is being presented here today as a website. So join me in welcoming the gracious presence of the First Lady, Governor of Goa, Srimati Rita Pillai, a leading lawyer and avid painter, a social change agent, who shall be inaugurating this launch of WEDO India website. Over to Lady Governor Rita Pillai. May I share the screen, please?
You can, yeah, please. Are you able to do that?
It's giving me some problem.
I think you can.
Okay, I'll just on it again.
Namaste. Good morning to everybody. I'm from India. Today, we have gathered to celebrate this noble initiative taken by Women Entrepreneurship Day organization to support and empower women in business all across the world. It is my proud privilege to launch the website of WEDO, the India chapter. I compliment Dr. Sushi Singh, Ambassador of WEDO, India chapter, and all those connected with the organization for all the wonderful work they are doing in the field of women empowerment. This website is going to address the most critical problems.
I think you cannot see. Should I share it again?
We can't see.
Allow Zoom. It's calling me allow Zoom to share.
Try press share screen and then you click on the video.
Yeah, I did that. The same thing. Again, share. It's writing allow Zoom to share your screen. Okay.
Can you send me the video by...
Namaste. Good
Can you
morning
see
to
this now?
everybody. I'm from India.
No?
Today, we have gathered to celebrate
No?
this noble
We
initiative
can't see.
taken by
If you can send me
women
the video by any other mode, it will be good.
organizations to
Okay.
support and
Yeah.
Where's the video? Desktop part. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Let me be a woman, woman, woman. I can be a woman, 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 woman. Let me be a woman, 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 woman. I can be a woman, 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 woman. What you need, she can spend all the milk, up and your seed. She can go with the moon.
How do I see that? It's going, upload nahi ho raha. It's very slow.
Okay, may I suggest one thing, that we start with the first panel and then we come back to it till the time we figure it out. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, you can email the file to me and then I'll share it from here. And by the time we'll start with the first panel. Right. Rosaline, may I invite you to lead the panel, please?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Wish you all a very happy Women's Entrepreneurship Day. Today, I would like to introduce Dr. Ilyana Sitaresti, who is an Italian by born, but by actions, she became an Indian, a true Indian. She's a very popular international Odissi dancer. She in a twist of fate, she chanced upon the dance form of Odissi, which kept pulling her back to the country. After 4 decades, and Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian award in the country. She's a senior disciple of Odissi Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra ji. Ilyana ji is an acclaimed dancer and an accomplished choreographer since several years. In Odisha especially, she had stayed for about 40 years. She became more Odia than anyone. That's all I have to say. I personally very fond of her because of her humble nature, and she had been contributing a lot through technology, she had been teaching so many poor girls the Odissi dance, especially those girls who are equally passionate to learn. She's the right person who had been doing. I've been watching her. So in brief, I can only say that we all have been learning a lot from her. She's a true source of inspiration for many like us. And I would like to request our moderator to just give a brief idea about Dr. Ilyana and start this program. Thank you.
Yeah. Dear Miss Ilyana, warm welcome to you. Yeah, please join us. And yeah, please share with us your journey.
Hello to everybody. It's a pleasant surprise for me to be among all of you. And I'm still actually trying to learn what is exactly we do. But whatever I have understood till now is that you're going to open a Indian chapter of this. And this is a welcome initiative. And really, I hope to come to know a little more in the course of this webinar about the purposes and all the activities of this beautiful congregation of women from all over the world. Yeah, I am from Italy, but I think that was belonging to my first part of my life, and the second part, which is more than half, of course, is been spent here in Odisha, which is relatively not a very overexposed touristic place in India, and that is also an advantage in a way, because it has conserved. It is not over decorated. It is not artificial. It is Orissa culture has remained quite faithful to its roots, and very much rooted actually in the religion, in the mythology, in the faiths of the people. And whenever I came 40 years ago, I actually been surrounded by this complex integration of life and culture. I mean, the culture had not become a museum artifact, but it was a continuation and with the people life. So whatever it was done in the temples, and whatever we were seeing in the, we were listening in the chanting of the music or something, it was actually, it was coming from the everyday life of the people in each houses. The same ritual, the same beliefs were there, and whatever we were learning in dance, it actually was reproduced by the daily life of the people. So it was a continuation. Whatever I was learning in the classroom, it was continuing when I was roaming around outside. And so all the different, all this created a net of cultural integration, which actually trapped me in a sense that there was no end of it. Because to understand one tassel of this, one portion of this, I had to understand whatever it was related to it, the meaning of it. So I had to go deep into whatever Guruji, my guru, was teaching me in the classroom. So so it became a life process, and it is a process which is still continuing, and everything is correlated. If I want to learn dance, I have to know about literature. If I want to learn literature, I have to know about the mythology behind, the philosophy behind, and all the religious context. So it's really not a process which can end in a lifetime. So so in this, yeah, I realized that the way I went deep into it, because I had the fortune also to have a guru who was actually coming out of the soil. He was a man of the soil, and whatever he was teaching, it was actually lived by him. It was not just a superficial or way of explaining or research. It was not only intellectual, it was totally root in the soil, and it was something which he had gone through. It was an experience of life. So it's everything became very deep in a way, and not possible to remain in the surface of it. So this is what actually I would like to convey to the students now that since quite a few years I'm myself teaching, and so this is a very important thing. I think that whatever we teach, it's a dance, is a form of expression, but it is not a technique only, and it has a lot of inner layers behind, and it is really a form of unifying the mind and the body. And so this kind of synthesis, which I probably didn't find in the West before coming here, and that is what worked for me, because over there was an intellectual pursuit and a physical training. So these two aspects didn't get integrated. So, and I got it, this synthesis, I got it here by learning this form of dance. So this is what I try to pass on to my students. They should not remain in the surface of what they are learning, but they should understand their deep roots which are there in their culture. And so it's not easy to do this when with students who are just giving a very short time of their daily life nowadays, because general education and competition and studies and other things are very much prioritized. So the priorities. So what helped in this last 2 years of the confinement due to COVID was the fact that we could deal a little more through the webinars, through the internet, through the online classes. We could deal more with the theoretic aspect of the dance. So the physical aspect of the dance, of course, require the physical presence in the classroom. Require they be able to correct each of the students, to be able to interact with them, to be able to. So it's a little bit not so easy to share all this on online classes, but the theoretic aspect actually gained a lot, and so all these correlated aspects, which are the history of the dance, the development, the religious and connotation, the mythological, the symbolic meanings, all these things could be developed and could be expanded through this discovery, I should say, because probably 2 years before, nobody was thinking about sharing in Zoom, or we never thought about what it was Zoom, and nobody knew about this. And so it was in a way a great advantage to be able to dedicate time and space to this aspect of the dance, which is always sacrificed during the physical classes. And said that, of course, what I also try to make the student understand is that this great access which they have to technology and to internet is not only Facebook and WhatsApp. So basically, this is what unfortunately the tendency is, to reduce everything to WhatsApp messages and very superficial learning through very quick access to this kind of media, digital media, and but to make them understand that the access, the possibility to utilize internet is very great if this is utilized properly. So Google gives the access to a lot of research material, which one can really take advantage of. And but that, of course, it needs that kind of eagerness to understand and to research and to go deep into the things, which still is an attitude which has to be instilled in them. So how to utilize this advantage of the internet, it's very important.
I want to ask one question, as if, sorry to interrupt you. Like,
Please.
You have held the most prestigious, title in India, and you've earned it. It's Padam Shri, right? And then you have performed as an individual performer in various countries. And then you decided to, start your own institution, Art Vision. And normally when we see that, the artist or even for that matter, like coders or programmers, they work in their own field. And then, you practice more, you improve more, and that gives you solace, that gives you peacefulness. But then you started Art Vision. So this transition from being solely a performer and, a person of such a high repute, and then moving to becoming an entrepreneur and having your own institution, Art Vision, like, what challenges did you face as an entrepreneur, as a school owner, like you talked about the challenges that students face, but for yourself as an entrepreneur running and managing the institution, what challenges did you face and how did you overcome those?
I waited quite a lot before confining myself in this kind of role because I wanted to be free to move around and to perform, and to also help holding workshops here and there, which were short duration, so they were not linking myself in a particular place. So of course the responsibility became much more the moment I started this institution. And well, it is not a big institution, but the purpose, the reason why I started, there were actually probably two. One was that I like to choreograph group production, which have teams, very various teams. I mean, also social oriented, and they're not linked only to mythology or to to religious themes or anything, but I've done work on refugee, whatever inspire me from the whatever I receive from the outside world, and inspire me. And then so the latest one is on textile, and so it's very various. So to do this, I in India, it doesn't, the role of the choreography is not dissociated from that of the guru. So you have, if you want to have the dancers with whom to work, you have to you have to develop them, and as their students, and as students you grow them since when they have 7, 8 years old, and then it takes 10 years, 12 years, and then you start to work with them. So that was one of the reason. And another reason was that I had been associated with my guru so closely, and I had learned his item with such details and with all the particular nuances which he has given. So I wanted to pass on this tradition as authentic, in an authentic way. So I felt there is responsibility to continue his league. So these were the two reasons. And from the practical point of view, yeah, I had to learn how to organize myself and to especially when I organize festivals. So there are different stages, like approaching sponsorship, and then do all the paperwork to send to the government. Our government is actually giving the possibility to avail of different schemes and grants, but it makes you doing a lot of paperwork. And I usually do all these things on my own. I don't have a family. I'm alone, so I can dedicate my full time to this without neglecting my own practice, because I think it's very important to keep on. So the morning time is very sacred for yoga and my own practice. But then all the rest of the day between all this computer work and paperwork and then taking the help of experts in the different fields like audit and charter accountant and videographer and editing things. And I mean, all these things one cannot do actually or everything on your own. But you have to know how much you can do it and how much you need to take help, and then also to keep your attention to all the things which are happening, where to apply and where to try to present your work, because that is also there. So actually we are very often all in one in India. I mean, you are your own creator, choreographer.
I guess that's everywhere, when you start your own business, it happens. Even when I'm working as a startup entrepreneur, a lot of things I have to do on my own. And that's the challenges that we have. Yeah,
it's difficult also financially to maintain a full team of permanently a team of collaborators. So
Michela,
that is.
You'll say sorry, Michela.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you have laid out the basic challenges that every woman are facing, right, as an entrepreneur. I mean, beside of course our personal time and our family time, but we also have to juggle so many things. And actually this is a very good intro to our next panelist, Jessica, who actually are managing a big data, and she's going to share how she's doing it and working with governments and many organizations in Hong Kong. Jessica?
Thank you. Thanks, Michela, for introducing. And thanks, Ilyana, for your very insightful presentation. I'm actually a dancer as well. I've been practicing dancing for over 10 years, and I always found that I can truly be myself when I dance. Like, I really feel the emotions, and also I learn a lot about myself when I'm dancing. So thanks for your presentation. I'm also new to WEDO. So really thanks, Luis, for inviting me here to be part of this wonderful event today. And I'm very humbled to learn from all the successful women around me here in this event. So a little bit introduction about myself. I am an architect, urban designer, and also an social impact measurement advocate and practitioner here in Hong Kong. So in my earlier years of practice, I actually do a lot of alternative urbanism design and planning. And then later on, I converge my design skills and with my community engagement field work experience to co-found this impact data consortium chain, which is what Michela just mentioned about, like a collaborative platform to build the impact measurement and management capacity for the social sector in Hong Kong. So as I was asked to prepare a short presentation today, so I would like to know, am I allowed to share screen now to show my presentation? Oh, okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so maybe I will just go on and share my presentation. So it's not a long one. I will try to control the time within 10 minutes. So Impact Data Consortium Chain is the organization that I co-found, and now I'm also an operation director. So today I'm going to introduce how verified impact data can potentially empower women from urban to rural using two use cases. So one is a self-employed mom in a time bank community in Hong Kong. Another is a village mom employed in an early childhood education program in rural China. So I'm hoping to use these two use cases, which are the real examples, real scenarios that I encountered in my working, and to explain how verified impact data can potentially empower them and change their lives. So before we move on to talk about what verified impact data is, maybe I will just start from what impact is about. So impact is about the change in an outcome caused by the activities of actions of an organization or enterprises. And impact measurement is about understanding what the changes have been caused by the action and capturing those changes using various methods and tools and articulating them in either qualitative or quantitative ways so that you or your stakeholders have a clearer picture of how your action has changed the state of the world. So in order that you can further improve your innovations, your solutions to maximize the impact. And further on, verified impact is not only about what to measure and how to measure, but it's about how to verify the impact claimed by someone and how to make those verification records trustable. So this is actually responding to the pain point of the industry, as a lot of people has been questioning about the integrity of impact data. So in response to all the above, IDCC is an open source community to co-create knowledge, tools, and technology for impact measurement and management, IMM, in order to achieve verified impact for the social sector in Hong Kong. So as you can learn from the name of our organization, Impact Data Consortium Chain, there is two parts. So the first part is about impact data. So impact data is what we believe to be the bridge between the capital side and the entrepreneurial side. But the problem is the lack of trust on the impact data that slows down the capital deployment to support more social development solutions. So as a consortium, which is also our strategy to solve this problem, it represents a form of collaborations. So consortium, as a consortium, this is like a collaborative formed by these 9 key impact intermediaries in Hong Kong to co-create the knowledge and tools for IMM. So to mention a few, for example, like SEBC, B-Hub and Good Seed, they are government-funded incubator program for incubating young social innovations, social entrepreneurs here in Hong Kong. And for example, like Gravity Fund is a fund, is an impact fund to support more social innovations here in Asia. So we are a consortium to work with these 9 key partners who wish to join together, join force to co-create the knowledge and also tools for IMM. And on the other hand, consortium also represent a type of blockchain technology that we build our IMM tools upon. So the blockchain helps to bring accountability and also transparency to the impact data that we have been working on. And as you can see, these are the cloud-based IMM tools that we have been developing on the front end for to enable social enterprise to collect data, measure impact, manage impact, and also communicate impact effectively with different stakeholders. While the verified impact data would be stored on blockchain and be immutable and accountable. So as you can see, the blockchain, the verifiable impact data that I was talking about consists of 3 key types of information. So first is about the DID, the decentralized identities of the data agent who submit or verify the data. And the second is about the date. And the third is about the time of the verification record. So with these 3 key informations, we are able to search and trace each verification record on blockchain, which ensure the authenticity of the data. So in my last part of the presentation, I would like to use these 2 cases to explain how verified impact data can potentially empower them from urban to rural. So in the urban case, I would like to use this self-employed mom in a time bank community of Hong Kong to explain. So yeah, this is the wonderful woman that I encountered while working in this time bank community project in Hong Kong. So her name is Chun Li, who is the mom of 2 kids from a low-income household in Kwai Chung, which is a low-income neighborhood in Hong Kong. And she couldn't find a job as she has low level of education and little working experience. But she's very good at cooking, and she has knowledge of wide variety of fresh produce, which she would like to make use of to help improve the living conditions of her family without sacrificing too much time of taking care of her kids. So she joined this time bank platform. So in this time bank platform, she could use a mobile app to create the service that she would like to provide to this time bank community, which is buying local produce from fresh market and delivering to the households. And she can also put the amount of time credits that she wants to earn by providing such a service in this time bank community. Second, the NGO comes in and reviews the service and approves it onto the time bank marketplace. So everyone, every members on this time bank community can see the service and can request for the service from Chun Li. Then Bai Yi, which is another time bank member, is a lady with disabilities. She accepts the service from Chun Li and transfers the time credits after Chun Li has delivered the produce to her home. So with all this technology innovation, over the time, Chun Li has accumulated hundreds of time credits transfers in her records, each representing her service being approved and validated by peers in the time bank platform on blockchain. So with the immutable and accountable data, she builds her credibility and opens her own business of delivering hand-picked fresh produce to families. Next, I'm going to move on to the second use case, which is about a village mom employed in a government-funded early childhood education program in rural China. So the lady in front in the video who is now reading a book to the kid is the character of my of this use case. So her name is Ai, who is a mom of 3 kids from a village in rural China. She stays in the village as she doesn't want to leave behind her kids to work in the city, which is a very common phenomenon in China. So that results in a lot of left behind child. Her village is one of the pilot sites of a government-funded early childhood education program, which employs women from the village as home visitors to visit and play organized games with the left behind children in the village to improve their connective skills. So Ai, together with many other women in the village, got employed as home visitors in the ECD program. However, as time goes by, the government found that some home visitors are faking their home visit reports, which made the government think to halt the program. So that means Ai is about to lose his job. So with the verified impact data solutions, Ai visit the household of left behind children and use the mobile app to report her visit and submit the data of children's development. And the guardian of the children who live together with the children can use the mobile app to validate Ai visit every time after she came by. And at last, the government reviews the claims of the home visit submitted by Ai and validated at the same time by the guardian on blockchain, hence approves her home visit records. So even though this case is not too much about a woman entrepreneur, that is about how verified impact data can support village mom finally get employed and even renewed her employment contracts with the government in this ECD program. So with the validated impact claims, which is her home visit records, she now gets new employment contracts and continue to support her family without leaving them to work in the city. So thank you, that's all for my presentation. I hope with these 2 use cases, you would have a more like a grasp of how verified impact data can potentially empower women, even from rural or urban, and also how potentially it can change their lives. Thank you so much. I will pass the time back to Michelle.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing. Actually, I'll pass this to Rosaline. Are you still here?
Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah, we can ask Jessica to stop sharing the screen.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me.
Jessica, it was a really, really wonderful, sharing.
Thank you so much.
I, for one, know that, how much work they have put into, it's like many years of work. And yeah, they're still working on it. And hopefully, the next level would be building, capacity of women in rural areas for entrepreneurship. Yeah, great job.
That's where it's about Louise, and we are fighting together. Thank you so much.
Yeah, actually, I think I was also involved at IDCC last year. We worked on the Hong Kong proposal with Jessica. It was great working with your team, and the learnings that we got in terms of measurement of data and the impact measurement, overall. So really great work done by them. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Great working experience with you, Nisha. Thank you.
Thank you.
And actually, the mini goal for us is actually collaboration. So, maybe like Jessica, you can connect with Ilyana in your own time and kind of like synergy how data and technology and, how dancing can actually open up more opportunities for women in rural areas.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to invite Sushi back to launch the India website. Yeah, Sushi Singh, please. You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Nisha, and all the viewers to bear with me. Today, nothing can stop us. We, the women entrepreneurs, are unstoppable. So coming back to the program, the most exciting part, as I said that, and I promise that you'll find it exciting. So join me in welcoming the gracious presence of First Lady Governor of Goa, Srimati Rita Pillai, a leading lawyer, an avid painter, a social change agent, who shall be inaugurating this launch of WEDO India website. Over to Lady Governor Rita Pillai. May I share the screen, please?
We cannot hear Sushi.
Nisha has the link.
Taken by Women Entrepreneurship Day organization to support and empower women in business all across the world. It is my proud privilege to launch the website of WEDO, the India chapter. I compliment Dr. Sushi Singh, Ambassador of WEDO, India chapter, and all those connected with the organization for all the wonderful work they are doing in the field of women empowerment. This website is going to address the most critical problems being faced by women who are excited in taking up the entrepreneurship journey. During my interaction with the women of different strata, I realized that women in India do not get enough opportunity to explore all the available fields of work. This has something to do with the upbringing and the historical mindset of elder men and women folks. The lack of awareness which exists in most of the women gives rise to unfounded fear in their minds. With the launch of this website, WEDO in India will not only dispel the doubts which may arise in their minds, but also work as great motivating factors. Exposure of women to entrepreneurial activities is something really praiseworthy. Women have all the qualities required to become successful entrepreneurs, and what they need is awareness, domain knowledge, and handholding. I'm sure WEDO, under the dynamic leadership of its ambassador for India, will be able to bring a paradigm shift in developing the entrepreneurial culture amongst women. Thank you, WEDO, for making me as part of this great journey of developing entrepreneurship with the holy objective of women and empowerment. I wish you all the very best in all your future endeavors too. Jai Hind. Now I am launching this website.
As a woman who firmly believes in empowering women for nation's growth, it is my true privilege to be selected as WEDO Ambassador to support, celebrate, and women across the world. As Ambassador, WEDO India Chapter, my sincere thanks goes to CEO and founder WEDO, Wendy Diamonds. Meeting with this tenacious female entrepreneur who is able to create strong wave in the business world across 144 countries pushed me beyond my abilities to think of WEDO India website to disseminate information, to connect with talented and willing women across the country, to facilitate hand-holding required by young needy women with entrepreneurship dream while facilitating the help reach the needy women. These focus areas for our activities shall be showcased on this website periodically. So here I present WEDO India chapter to support and strengthen the noble efforts of Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization WEDO, which inspires 250 million girls living in poverty, empowers 4 billion unique women on this planet, celebrates women in business in 144 countries. Hoo-hoo, that's the way our founder cheers and I like it. WEDO Asia Regional Head Dr. Nisha Kohli made a team of inspiring, experienced women entrepreneurs as WEDO India ambassadors to support, empower, and celebrate women in business in India. So let us meet Dr. Sushil Singh, that's myself, as India ambassador from North region, Dr. Vandita Tiwari, India ambassador from South region, and Dr. Rosalind P. Mishra, India ambassador from East region. In some of the past events, we have chosen Choose Women campaign, Dare to Dream Women in Tech workshop, which was held on 14th October in 5 countries simultaneously, focusing on promoting entrepreneurial dreams of young women from 20 colleges across Asia. Join WEDO India movement, where young student ambassadors with aspiring women entrepreneurs carry the baton to motivate young women in colleges and women entrepreneurs on the local communities. Next exciting part of this website presents latest WEDO events, which showcase November 19th, 2021, that is today, as Women's Entrepreneurship Day Summit, which is being held in 144 countries to proclaim November 19th as World Women Entrepreneurship Day. WEDO Asia Summit, which is 19th November 2021, which is today, aims to showcase regional challenges and opportunities in making of an entrepreneur. And WEDO Choose Women 2021, scheduled on 1st December 2021. Next, we introduce our WEDO India advisors from North region, Media Advisor Mr. Vishwas Tripathi, UNI Chairman, and Chairman BRICS CCI. In the East, we have Academic Advisor Dr. KRS Samasiva Rao, Vice Chancellor, Mizoram University. In the South, we have TEDx fame speaker, author, entrepreneur, Meera Shenoy. We at WEDO India chapter firmly believes that gratitude and business ethics shall be the key points to achieve success in any human life journey or entrepreneurship journey. And so we render our sincere thanks to the founder and CEO, Wendy Diamonds, and Asia Region Head, Dr. Nisha Kohli. WEDO India chapter also advocates that we, the women, need not to prove ourselves, our abilities of bringing creativity and innovation in business on a particular day. And so for each one of us, every day is Women's Entrepreneurship Day. Let us celebrate, empower, and support women in business together. Here we go. Message of our founder, WEDO, Wendy Diamond.
I just want to let you know we are super excited this year, and thank you again for being a part of this and volunteering to support women entrepreneurs and being part of our mission. We are getting this Afghanistan project going. Hey, I want to just do a call out to the most incredible regional ambassadors who's bringing all the awareness towards you all. And I just want to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart.
All the very best to WEDO India chapter for kicking off with entrepreneurial dreams to millions of young women of India. Kudos to WEDO India chapter once again.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to know that WEDO India is going to inaugurate their website today, and they are going to display their activities, all going to be taken up in future and through that website to the whole country and world. So I wish all the members of WEDO India Executive Committee a wonderful day today, and in future, the WEDO India will definitely cater the needs of the whole world, particularly developing women entrepreneurship in the country and abroad.
On behalf of India We Do ambassadors, I would like you all to go through this website and give your suggestions to make it more informative and practical. Have a blessed day ahead. Thanks. Jai Hind.
That was really amazing. Thank you so much and heartiest congratulations. And with that, I'm wishing India team and of course the Asia team all the best.
Thank you, Nisha, and thank you, respected madam, for your time and support. Women of your repute shall inspire young women to dare to dream towards an entrepreneurial journey. So moving forward, let me take this opportunity to welcome the dear speakers from Bangladesh, India, Japan, Indonesia, China. Kudos to you all for your time and efforts of creating awareness and supporting the cause. Women need to allow the spotlights of their lives to be on themselves. As said, not by me, but Falguni Nair, and world's newest self-made women billionaire. Kudos to this Indian women entrepreneur for bringing some spotlight to us. So let's move to the women on WEDO platform who has put the spotlights on themselves. Here we present the panelist and speaker for the first panel, Emerging Engineering Technologies. Second panel.
No. Let Michela take over for the panel. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the panel number 2.
Yeah.
So Michela, being the moderator of the panel, please carry on. Over to Michela.
Thank you so much. Now we are coming into our second panel. And actually, I would like to introduce Vandita. Hello, Vandita, are you there?
She is here. Vandita.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, now
Yes.
you are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's actually going to introduce this panel for us before I jump in.
Yes. So welcome everyone. I am Vandita Tiwari. I'm the host for the panel, Empowering Women Entrepreneur Through Sustainable Technologies. And I believe following this pandemic, sustainability has become really essential phrase, whether it's about a sustainable business or sustainable technology. And as the saying goes, if you teach a guy, you teach a boy. But if you teach a girl, you are teaching an entire family and a future generation too. So by empowering women with such sustainable technologies, we will be able to make sustainable technology a habit rather than an option for the businesses. Allow me to introduce for this session tremendously inspiring speakers before we begin our panel discussion. So do we have Dr. Nayan Mitra with us now? I'm sorry, I'm not able to get her.
She is here.
For panelists, I think you need to rename because everyone is in Gauri Rajan's name. That is why it's.
Okay, so I'll introduce Dr. Nayan Mitra.
I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, yes. Great. She is an international authority on subject of sustainability, CSR, and responsible leadership. Having over 20 years of diverse professional experience, she feels deeply for women issues and is founding president of Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, WICSI. National Sustainable Business Council, mentor at Aspire for her foundation, and influencer at Womenator, where she continuously strives to bring innovative programs to contribute to impact of SDG 5. She is also a pro bono member of advisory council and board of some of the eminent NGOs in India, whose work with women and children have received global recognition. She is the recipient of prestigious author award at Indian CSR Leadership Summit 3 years in a row, 2017 to 19. Edges as one of the 25 most impactful CSR leaders in India, 2019, and many other international awards for her contribution to CSR. Her company, Sustainable Advancements OPC Private Limited, is a women-led company that broadly aims to promote sustainable development goals. Welcome, Dr. Nayan Mitra.
Thank you. Thank you,
And our next panelist is Michela Irwan. She is a WEDO ambassador Indonesia. In Baiteng, she runs a family fishing business. And Nexus Global was presented to her in 2014. She has been pursuing her passion for ocean health and sustainable fisheries since March 2017. Her mission is to establish a regenerative blue economy business model and ecosystem in her own region of operations, North Sulawesi and the seas surrounding the Indonesian island, that will be safeguard the future of ocean and shared natural resource, the future generation of fishermen and fishes. And according to her, biotech, pharmaceuticals, data technology, algorithm, sensors, AI, and traceability blockchains are needed in ocean ecosystem. Michela, I would like to go first with you. Please walk us through with your views and experience about sustainable technologies. You are on mute.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much. I will jump straight to my presentations and apologies to everyone that we're running a little late. Hope you can bear with us. Okay, so for a long time, the image of fishermen has always been men. But what if the future holds a new kind of fisherwoman, where we work on increasing the value of fish rather than a race to catch and the fish as much as possible and empty our beloved ocean. Hi, I'm Michela Irwan, and also now I'm calling myself Tuna Girl. And today I'm going to share my journey as Tuna Girl and why is it that I am on this mission. To begin foremost, that I believe that I have been truly lucky and privileged. I'm able to meet a lot of people. I'm able to visit a lot of countries to see what is possible, especially in Iceland and Norway, Canada. The technology there for fishery is groundbreaking, and they all come from the beginning where fish is they're such a small country and fish is actually quite limited there, and they are actually forced to innovate to survive. And it's actually the opposite problem for a country like Indonesia, where we are the largest we have the largest seascape and largest islands, the most number of islands in the world. And I am quite lucky. I am quite fitted, and I think my journey starts on where I was born. I'm located in North Sulawesi. We are right in the middle of the Coral Triangle, where the richest biodiversity of the world is. And also North Sulawesi, in my family business in fishing is located in the tuna city called Bitung. Why tuna city? Because 81% of the catch that we have is actually comprises of tuna. And this is actually my family business. It's actually founded by my supermom 21 years ago. So actually Atmiko is just a name of three of us. My mom, Eti, myself, Michela, my brother Erwin company. And the past 21 years, we have gone after our family business evolved in a zero waste mindset. We don't want to waste any single part of the fish, so we have the cold storage refrigeration to preserve the quality of fish, and then we value add and having like fish meal plants and katsuobushi plant, and we even built our own fishing vessels to catch our own fish. However, why I started my journey in 2017 March is actually the first time that we actually lost our fishing vessels in a very bad weather conditions, and I didn't realize it was such a wake-up call that we are so fragile with the climate change, and we don't have enough skills, talents, or even technology to help us innovate on our marine engineering structure, and that is how I started my journey as a tuna girl. And moving forward, we do hope that we can change the mindset and use entrepreneurship and leverage existing technology, starting from low technology to even high tech and even data, and learning what does the data says on algorithms, or even weather cycle, or even how does the fish move around the ocean to do better operations. But the mindset here is really to think on how can we balance valuing the value of the fish that we catch, the quality of the fish, and the social economic returns. Because in any business, unless we actually increase the efficiency and lower the cost of operations, there is no way we can survive. And moving forward with the more extreme climate, more than ever, we need to collaborate, and we need to bring in cross regional, cross-country, and even cross-sector solutions to actually bring back into our operations. And this is just an example what has been done in the blue economy. This is actually my friend's accelerator, Ocean Accelerator in Norway. And we really, what they have been doing brilliantly is actually bring together a short 3 months kind of like a course accelerator where they have trainings, but the most important is they actually give them access. So as you know, in Europe, in Germany, in Norway, they are the biggest shipping and also the aquaculture companies in the world, and these are actually, most of them are family businesses, and because their size are so big, and this is part of the catapult added value, because they're all part of the mentors and also the network. So what this startup actually now has is actually to prove case their solutions, and then try on these companies, and then these companies also invest back in them. So we're talking about looking into ocean plants, algae, seaweed, and even kelp. And then you're also talking about environment technology and sustainability angle, where they actually build the hardware and the technologies to help the marine and factories. Another example is this. What they've done beautifully is actually using AI and sensors, like for efficiency, to monitor the health of the salmon in the aquaculture in Norway. And not just studying the data, but with AI, they're able to identify the fish that are sick. They're able to make the salmon healthier. And there's another example, Atlant Space. They're from Middle East, but what they've done beautiful actually is they work with drones and satellites to do monitoring in the large oceanscape. And what they're working now is how can they extend the life of the drones without recharging it back in the station. And this actually is a game changer for coastal monitoring and ocean monitoring. And this is combating illegal fishing. This is also to save those that are in distraught that need saving by the coastal guards. And the last one, I think this is another one that we need to have fun with. So what in Norway, what Brim actually, what they've done is actually created the silent electric tourism boat. So what we didn't realize was vessels actually create a lot of noise pollutions, and this has a certain negative impact to the fish. So with this model, they somehow create this harmony, game changer tourism for the whales in Norway. And this is my hope. Tuna Town is really a hope, that I can actually bring in not just the environmental aspect, but also the economic development and the community empowerment. Because I think, having access, having network, having my family business as a resource, having access to the local government, or even being in Indonesia, these are some of the factors that I would love, to work with, to be able to bring in solutions from abroad. And to close off my my presentations, this is my wish, my personal wish, that fish can be for good. We go after 100% fish, and we actually start using values as a currency, and to see how much can we multiply the economic return from a kilo of fish, rather than going after more kilo every single day. And if anyone wants to collaborate with Tuna Girl, you're welcome to reach out to me. And let's keep the ocean blue and the fish forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Michela. It was wonderful to go through the presentation. And now I'm thinking of eating of more fishes, though we are vegetarians, but still. And there are a lot of things what we can do for the fishermen also. So I will like to go to Dr. Nayan Mitra now. And I will have some questions for you, like our queries, what we just wanted to ask. As you are involved in so many CSR activities, over the past 20 years from your experience, how has CSR evolved in India? Do they include women in technology to it?
Well, thank you so much for the question. So CSR has a long history in India. It started with Mahatma Gandhi's trusteeship model, which was driven by his religious values. But over a period of time, what happened is, because we are talking about the last 20 years, it has evolved from being in the corporate culture as, from pure philanthropy and charity during industrialization period, then to social development during independence. Then it became a mixed economy paradigm bound under legal and regulatory framework of business. But what really happened was post 2013. So in 2013, the Indian government started, actually made CSR mandated CSR for certain companies. And after that, what happened is this carefully crafted CSR mandate for certain companies under the Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013 is now driving positive social change as well as contributing to national development at various levels. Now, coming to your second question, I do not have very specific data, but I have come across many women in the space of CSR and sustainability. Maybe this is because, according to our research, women possess a more empathetic and nurturing mindset than men, and they also vastly differ from men when it comes to showing concern towards environment. Studies have also indicated that women are 1.17 times more likely to pursue social ventures than economic ventures. I can see Michela, the way she is thinking about sustainability. And women are also 1.23 times more inclined towards environmental ventures as compared to economic ventures. Another observation claims that women have played significant roles in bringing about positive transformations in the lives of people and the planet in terms of social welfare and reducing carbon emissions compared to men. When we talk about the use of technology in CSR management, it was very basic till 2019, but is catching up now as the companies are scaling their CSR projects, and also because of the offline COVID situation. In terms of CSR programs, few examples include Capgemini and SRF Foundation, who in April 2021 launched a program like Coding for Girls to introduce female students to the world of technology. The program it is in line with the new education policy of 2020, aims to impart coding skills among girls enrolled in government schools in Hyderabad, Gurugram, and Noida. This program alone has touched about 10,000 girls belonging to grades 6 through to 10, in classes 6 to 10. So this is, in a nutshell, the changes that has happened in the last 20 years, but there is more that needs to be happened, especially in the space of impact.
I totally agree, because if the young generation is shown that path, they will grow up with that mindset that they have to use these technologies. So moving on, Doctor, how have CSR, sustainability and responsible leadership intertwined? Do you think they can be successful without one another?
No, CSR, sustainability and responsible leadership, they are a continuum. If sustainability is the end goal, CSR is just a minor part of what accelerates it through its interventions. Responsible leadership, on the other hand, is who makes this happen. And this leadership has to be across all sectors and hierarchies in a corporate setup. And the concept of responsible leadership should transcend the CSR space and include the organization as a whole and also percolate into ISR. ISR is the individual social responsibility with a vision towards sustainability. So if we talk about CSR, it's just about a small part of the entire sustainability space. And responsible leadership is a much larger concept where it's the individual who's making it happen through CSR, through ISR, and through also, policies and interventions within the company.
So the leadership will be the one which will be monitoring every aspect of it, I think.
And not just monitoring, they are the ones who should have a lead role in providing vision, because what do we mean by responsible leadership, okay? Which has to be responsibility and mindfulness in every action within the company and to every policy, from the vision to implementation to the end of it. And also, lead by example. So the person himself or herself has to be responsible in their own actions, even with, beyond the company's space.
Yeah. Can you please share the vision behind your Sustainable Advancement Private Limited and how much % of women are in the company?
Yeah. So actioning responsibilities lies at the crux of sustainable advancements. We broadly aim to promote the 5 P's of the Sustainable Development Goals or the global goals, namely people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnerships through a 2-pronged approach, advocacy and implementation, that aids in bridging the gap between ideas and actions, communities and businesses, India and the rest of the world, thus bringing about holistic development. So when we talk about advocacy, we conduct research, publication, consultancy, and training in the space of sustainability. In fact, when we talk about we've got, quite a number of researchers. On one side, we are doing a research on women at work. On the other hand, we've also done research on construction, mining, supply chain, because all of them fall within the purview of sustainability. In implementation, we have 2 unique projects, Alna.Store, that works with vulnerable and rescued women of trafficking. And it has recently been also identified and acknowledged, accelerated by the UN Women Industry Disruptor Program for both its cohorts. While the other project is Earth Restore, where we are creating an urban forest. Both the projects are based on the principles of sustainability. Our vision is to bring together and work in collaboration with the different stakeholders in the society for the society to bring about peace, prosperity, and continuity. We aim at walking the talk, or in other words, in actioning responsibilities for sustainability. We are a proud signatory to UN Women's Empowerment Principles, SME Climate Hub, and work in direct collaboration with quite a number of UN agencies and responsible partners in the sustainability space. Coming to your second question, we are an equal opportunity company. But for some reason, maybe because of the leadership, I'm the only sole director because my company's name is OPC Private, Sustainable Advancements OPC Private Limited, which means it's a one-person company under the law. There is only one director. And of course, we've got employees. We somehow have more women applying to us. I think they feel safe working with us, and we are open to provide them with opportunities. Right now, we have, and unashamedly so, 100% women employees.
Wow, very nice. So you already have 100% women employee in your company. So what do you think will be the role of women entrepreneurship and technology?
Yes, I'll respond to that. Just sharing this, because of this cohort, there was a question, before that are you gender equal? And I had to respond no, in the sense because I'm not equal. I'm biased. I'm biased in the sense I'm unequal because I have 100% women employees in my company, and it's not that I have asked for 100% employees. But somehow women think they feel safer working with us. Even for interns, more women interns, they feel safer to work with us rather than somehow for men. Okay, coming to our question, yes, technology is no longer an option. It is a medium to hire, fire, communicate, measure, scale. In other words, it is the critical but invisible vertical that runs across all sectors in a company. While women will play an important role in technology, but it is yet to be reflected. According to the Economic Times, a survey done by ITES companies with a sample of over 300,000 women concluded that tech companies only have 26% women in engineering roles. Another report by New York Times mentioned that only 9% of apps are created by women, 10% of innovative startups were founded by women. And one of the significant barriers to entry that women face is lack of funding. Tech startup entrepreneurs dedicate a lot of time to pitching investors in order to raise capital. But according to 2019 PitchBook data, women-founded startups receive less than 3% of all venture capital. So while we are talking about the role of women entrepreneurship and technology, it definitely has to grow and grow in leaps and bounds. If we are optimistic, then we should look at it as a tremendous opportunity because these few women who are in the tech sector can help address the issues women face and can lead to more women tech entrepreneurs, or they can guide and they can see a market there. So one has to just start. The other thing what I feel is women have to be digitally upskilled with edtech solutions. Women already are in the space, can empower other women. I think women like Nisha and all can definitely empower so many other women in the tech space and make them comfortable, or make tech easier for more women to access. I loved, Jessica, how Jessica is transforming, spaces in China with simple solutions, but such important solutions. Tech incubators and accelerators have to be inclusive for women entrepreneurs with scalability and ecosystem support. So this is what I feel, where there is a huge gap. In a nutshell, the path is long and challenging, but unless we start, we won't reach.
So there will be a lot of things to talk to you, but as we approach towards the end of the session, there is one question I will definitely like to ask you before we close it. I love the word woman innovator. Please share your definition to it and any take and advice for the women entrepreneurs whom they wish for this woman-ator one day.
There's only one thing: find a purpose, put your entire weight behind it, follow it, things will fall in place. Even a few years back, who would have thought that we would have such a fantastic consortium of women who are supporting each other, who are thinking about each other, and we have a fallback upon, we can connect, when we are in need. Who would have thought about this? So, things are falling in place. I am an eternal optimist. And I think, our journey has just started and, we'll do great. We just need to find our purpose and drive it. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Nayan Mitra, for joining us today, and thank you, Michela, for sharing your Tuna Girl details to us. Back to Nisha.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mitra. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And let me just tell you about Dr. Mitra. Dr. Mitra and I, we both, I know she's more passionate about sustainability and I'm following her. So we both keep discussing about sustainability and, initiatives, how we can work together and engage and make some changes in India as well as in Asia overall. So thank you so much for being with us. And thank you so much, Tuna Girl. As always, it's such a pleasure to hear about your stories. And we are looking forward to visit the Tuna Town very soon. Yeah, thanks, Vandita, for moderating the session. Now I invite Patricia to take over the next panel. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nisha. Such an inspiring session. We start off with such an inspiring session. Now, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. My name is Patricia Susanto from WEDO Indonesia. Michela and I actually will moderate the session together. So our topic is emerging engineering technologies and opportunities for women entrepreneurs. We have two wonderful speakers. One is Jane Aurana Willis, and we have Dr. Tapati Bandupai. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry if I did not. So I have Jane and Dr. Tapati to get this online. And Dr. Tapati, can you on the your camera? Thank you. So first, let me introduce Jane. Jane is one of Indonesia advocates for women engineers. She is the Vice President of Society of Women Engineers Affiliated Jakarta, and she started the community to increase awareness and capacity of women engineering. She graduated from University California State Polytechnic Pomona, and she is one of Indonesia's most active advocates, inspiring many women and children to take active role in engineering landscape in Indonesia. She is also a third generation in running her family-owned workshop chain, now Willis Auto Services. So she's basically situated herself in the men's world. So she's very comfortable in that sense, and she's always a great speaker. So thank you, Jane, for sharing. And we have also Dr. Tapati. She is an inventor, builder, and a practice leader in metrics, scores, benchmark-driven cloud AI data adaptation for the last 25 plus years. She is named Women Leader in Tech by NASSCOM India AI, and she holds multiple patents and has worked with world's largest tech and services companies such as AWS, IBM, Accenture. Basically, you name all the top companies in the world, and I guess she has her hand in and user companies of Fortune 1000. She has an early start in AI, starting in 1997. So she's one of the leader and pioneer for women in tech. When she worked for GEC Marine UK as a project engineering building industry first expert system. So to kick things off, I'll give Jane the screen for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll transfer it to Dr. Tapati, and then we'll start with the Q&A. How's that? So Jane, the screen is yours. If you want to share your screen, please do so. Jane will introduce a little bit about women engineering and what they do here and how the impact have been done for women's entrepreneur in Indonesia. Go ahead, Jane.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Can everybody see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, there we are.
Okay, I think my network connection is not that great, so I apologize if my internet is not that good. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Like Patricia said, I am a third generation in running the family business, which is an automotive industry. So we do a lot of services. We do services for car maintenance, and since I was born, I played in the warehouse. So and then when I learned when I went to study, I studied originally mechanical engineering, but then because I was the only girl there, I switched to electrical engineering, and which has 3 girls in the class out of a class of 30 or more. So it's already triple the amount. But then I graduated as an electrical engineering, worked for a semiconductor company in the US for about 6 years before moving back to Indonesia and running my family business. But today I want to talk more about my community, which is Society of Women Engineers Affiliate Jakarta. And we started this, me and my cousin, it's back in 2017, because we were active with SWE when we were in the US. And so we figured that in Indonesia, we need something like this to increase awareness and interest about STEM to the public. Yeah. So since 2017, we have our Friends of SWE that has grown from 5 to 110 women, and they range from college students, people working engineers that are working in industry, or retired engineers who has switched off their career from engineering to a mom to. And we also have SWE Next Jakarta, which is a group of students, K-12 students. So we have developed that as well. And what I want to talk about is what our program do, how to increase women in technology and STEM. Okay, so we do a lot of outreach workshops for on top of our network between adults, between our members. We do network with industry and having webinars. We also do a lot of outreach to students. So and most of the classes are free. We run it for free. So we did a 3D print workshop. I actually taught a robotics class 2 years ago, and for Engineering Week in February, which the last time we ran was last year. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we couldn't make another one this year, but it was attended by over 50 kids, and it's balance between girls and the number of participants between girls and boys. So we did a lot of workshops for students depending on their age. And we do school visits. So Habibi Festival is one of the event that we used to participate in. It's a big technology and innovation festival in honor of our late president, who was a really famous engineer, Habibi. So we open booth and we run workshops. This one, actually, we work with Nedi. He is a disabled person on wheelchair, but he is very independent, and he run workshops to teach people how to fix cell phones, to do repair, general basic repair. So we did the workshop for kids too. And one of our program that I think is very exciting to share here is Technovation Girls Challenge. We've run it for the past 2 years, and we run it again this year. It's for high school students, which we teach them in technology and entrepreneurship. So they have to design an app, a phone app, that as a solution for a problem in the community. So they have to build the business plan as well. They have to do pitch video. And last year, this is actually a global competition. So anybody in the world can do this. So you can do it in your countries. You can run it as well in your countries, and compete globally. And each student is paired. Each team, maximum of 5 girls, is paired up with mentors. So we do find mentors from the industry. Yeah, we try to match 2 mentors per team, and to help them. So the mentors are just to guide them, to move them along, motivate them. But we have set up the curriculum is already provided from the global dashboard. So we've been running that. And last year we had 18 teams consisting of 77 students from Jakarta, Greater Jakarta area, Bandung, Surabaya, Banjarmasin, and these are some of the apps that they make, and it's amazing to see the interest of these girls, that they've never learned coding before, and then when I see them in the coding class, they're like, oh, it's working. So that's very exciting to see, to be able to inspire them and to make them aware that this is something that they're able to do too. It's not only a men's world. And we also get the help from a lot of mentors from our side, who are, a lot of them are entrepreneurs as well, female entrepreneurs. So this is a program that we continue to run this year also. And if anyone from WEDO is interested to run it in your countries, let me know, or Google Technovation challenge, and you can run it yourself. And it's a great program to run for girls. Thank you, Tricia.
All right, thank you, Jane. Such a interesting topic that you have here. You inspire children from very young age up to the 18 years old, and you can see the result of this process. So before we go to the question and answer, I'll give time for Dr. Tapati for your presentation, or maybe a little bit about yourself. Screen is yours, Dr. Tapati.
Yeah, hi. It's a pleasure to be here, and I have been listening to all of you. Wonderful stories. In fact, Michela and Jen, I think we share a lot of common grounds, and that's probably what has brought us here together. And I won't rather bore you with further details. I think, Patricia, you have shared enough information. And we will stay connected in LinkedIn and other social media platforms as well, I'm sure, beyond this session as well. So we can go ahead with the question answer session, Patricia, as you guys have planned.
All right, thank you, Dr. Tapati. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, about your first and last patent, and how do you come up with it, and what inspired you to have to develop this patent?
Sure. Yeah, so absolutely. And this is one area that I am very passionate about, and I want girls actually to own more patents. So the first patent, in fact, this journey started at Wipro. I actually set up the artificial intelligence practice at Wipro. They had some assets and they didn't have any takers, honestly. As you know, Wipro has more than 1,280 clients globally, right? So out of those 1,280 client accounts, the assets that they had, it was called a homes platform. So they had only 30 installations of some of their AI assets. It was nothing to do with the quality of the assets, but it was to do with the the strategy, or for the lack of it, rather, that nobody really knew that, these assets can make a world of difference in the service delivery and client experience and performance of Wipro's services in their accounts, right? So when I joined, it was a situation like that. There were only 35 installations of homes across 1,280 plus client accounts. And in 2 years, when I left, I'm still very happy about it, that it reached 450 client installations from 35. So that's what, in fact, strategies and communicating about what you have can do for AI, right? So technologies don't speak for themselves, right? We have to speak for them. We have to tell, like the stories that Michela was sharing or Jen was sharing, that how, in fact, you can leverage the bots or artificial intelligence algorithms to even help us in running automotive maintenance, or in fact in the fishery industry, the examples that we were talking about, or even in agriculture, enabling blockchains and things like that. So that is what we typically do, and that was our first patent, where in Wipro, in fact, we created something which was a language artificial intelligence. So the first instance of any AI use case we see is a chatbot, right? So typically what happens is chatbots are structured conversational AI, right? So they have a certain steps of conversations and certain keyword search based kind of responses from the bot coming back to the users, and that doesn't give you anything close to a human kind of an interaction experience, right? So our job was actually to see to it that the chats that are happening, what is the sentiment content of the chat, and we used, I mean, I again won't bore you with the technical details, but a lot of, Google TensorFlow APIs on LSTM and RNN were used there. And that was the first, my first experience. In fact, I had been in this field for almost, by then I was almost 21 years old into the artificial intelligence field, but I didn't have a patent. Right. So I was working with Gartner before for almost 7-8 years. I was with Gartner, and I was very much part of the industry research and core research, like how end user companies, all the companies that you are talking about, I worked with them, as being an advisor from Gartner. And we wrote, I kind of created 200 plus research copyrights, but I didn't own a patent. Right. So then, in fact, in Wipro, the CTO team, you used to work very closely with very young boys and girls in the CTO team. It was not part of my charter, but I just forced myself into their ecosystem because I still love to code. In fact, after 25 years, I still like to code. And then that is how it got started. And after that, in AI Switch, we have got more than 5 patents filed so far. And I think this is something that girls, especially girls in deep technology fields like artificial intelligence, is something that we need to know very early on, and so that nobody can beat us in the race for patents.
Okay, great. Dr. Tapati, just to add on that, how do you tie in your interest in technology and your ability to become an entrepreneur? And how do you materialize this into a company that you have right now? And that will be the same question with Jane, yeah? Because she's balancing 2 different activities. Both of them are massive work. So I want to know how we can balance this technological interest as well as the entrepreneurial side of the business.
I think I should let Jane speak first, and then I'll come next.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Jane.
Sure. Well, my passion is in STEM, so that's why I think I went to study engineering. And then as soon as I graduated, my father asked me, come back and run the family business. But I told him, wait, let me make use of what I learned in school first. So I was working in a semiconductor company for 6 years before coming back. Then when I came back, I have to relearn everything, because what I was doing in engineering, we do a lot of systematic and analysis, critical thinking, but I haven't learned about the marketing side, the people management, and there's so many things that I have to learn running a company. And it's very exciting because because I love to learn. I always like learning. So for me, it's a good thing. I attended a lot of webinars, even learn about finance, tax, accounting, running even an Instagram, creating our own website. So because we're a family business, it's not a big company where I can employ people to create our website. So I run it myself. And so, but it's really good learning opportunity for the past 10 years. And so I was really focused on expanding the business. So we grow our business from 3 locations to 12 locations in the past 8 years. But then, towards after after the busy of the business kind of settled down and our people are able, and I can delegate more instead of running it myself, then I come up, okay, what else do I want to do? That's why I started the Society of Women Engineers Affiliate Jakarta, because my passion is there. And initially I do that because I like to teach my kids about STEM. So I like to make activities with them. And then you know, as I move along, people are like, why don't you run classes for this? So then I start doing it. So, and then it's just because my passion is there. So now that my business is more established, is running, you know, I can delegate more, and my kids are growing up too. I have, you know, that actually 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do both business and SWE because my kids are getting older and I have more time now. That's why I can do a lot more with SWE. I guess that's where the balance is.
All right. All right, thank you, Jane. Because yeah, actually my kids went to one of Jane's class and they love it, and they asking for more actually. So you need to do that more often. Also, Tapati, how do you balance your technological side and your entrepreneurial side? Because this is sometimes become a challenge or a barrier for entrepreneurs everywhere, where they're coming from a technological background.
Absolutely. And in fact, I mean, that's my life experience has taught me that, you know, some things that you do at that point in time when you did it, you never thought that it's going to help you in any way, but it does eventually. So in fact, when I was doing my PhD, I was actually teaching in a business school. And I had been trained in engineering hardcore. So just like Jen was mentioning, so I did my BTech in mechanical engineering, in fact. And I never, I mean, I was one of the 2 girls in a class of 40, and I loved it. And in fact, I had to pull the other girl because she was planning to go into electrical or chemical or some other thing. And I said, see, if you want to become an engineer, you know, make a car, right? So because that is where the engines came from. So essentially, you know, I kind of pushed her, you know, with me to join engineering. So I was hardcore trained in engineering. In fact, then my first job was in Tata Motors, which was, again, I was one of the, just only one girl from a batch of 600 students. In 6 people they picked up from our campus at Calcutta, and I was one of them. And overall, I think Tata in those days, they were like the flag bearers of hiring, recruiting women engineers. But when I told them, they wanted to take me for sales and aftermarket services. So I still remember the kind of fight I had in one of the first interviews or job interviews of my life. And I actually was a gold medalist of my class in engineering. And they were telling me that, why don't you join sales, you know? I said that I didn't get my gold medal in engineering to do sales of your cars. I want to make them. So then they had a tough time convincing me, but I stuck to my point and I actually worked in the factories. I mean, eventually such huge problems, those days we didn't have women toilets in the factories. Can you beat that? I mean, the Jamshedpur plant was huge. I mean, if you see Tata Motors, and we didn't have even a girls' toilet. So in such situation, you know, I stuck to my guns, and I have remained an engineer. But eventually, during the business school professorship, I learned a lot from my directors on finance and operations and other subjects that engineers typically don't learn. And that has been actually very handy for us to set up, a startup company. And even though the startup company is hardcore technical stuff, we work on AI practice research. But yeah, of course, to run a business, you need to know a bit of finance, a bit of HR, a bit of marketing as well. So, we typically have other people to support us in those fields. But yes, whatever I learned being a professor myself in technology in a business school from other professors, that has actually stood me in very good stead.
Okay, great. Thank you. So basically, the message is never to limit yourself. You just learn more and then expand your horizon. So,
Exactly.
Jane, you both of you are always mentioning that you're the handpicked women in the class, yeah, from the beginning of your studies. So, what are the main challenge for women's engineering facing today, and what kind of support they need to be successful in this space? I'll give the question to Jane first.
Yes, actually, Dr. Tapati is right. Mechanical engineering is the way. Actually, yeah, I wish there was another girl in that class so I didn't escape, because after I switched to electrical, no offense to electrical engineers out there, I realized, oh man, I should have stayed, but if I switch back and forth, then I would never graduate, right? It will take me so long to actually graduate it. But I love, I love mechanical robotics. I wish that that's what I had done for my studies. But I think that's why lack of mentors and sounding board. Back then I switched off, and I didn't even realize that there's the Society of Women Engineers in our school. It's not until I found them, and they're like, oh, there's actually this association that connects all the women engineers, female students together, and then we make activities, networking, and then support each other. So that's what we need, because there's not that many of women engineers. I think especially in Indonesia alone doesn't have that many engineers. We are very, very behind on the number of engineering, let alone female engineers. And so a lot of companies approach us as a society, SWE, asking for, do you have any supply of female engineers? Because, it's part of our international companies, it's part of our gender equality programs, and it's just, there's not enough supply. So I think we need more, also we need the help of media to get the word out, that there are female engineers. I remember I attended a talk once run by the Australian Embassy, and it's actually it was a program by the government to expose female in engineering. So do they give a lot of motivation and I guess a lot of reward to the press journalists that expose and raise the story about female engineers to increase the number of female engineers in Australia. So I think we do need programs like that.
All right, great. Thank you, Jane. So, Dr. Tapati.
Yeah, I totally echo Jen's sentiment, and at least Jen, you guys found out there is something called SWE. In India, we don't have any such thing yet. And the Australia example that you spoke about, in fact, I was part of one such initiative run from another startup in Australia in AI, where they were actually teaching young girls in school how to code in Python. The good part is, in fact, Python is actually now taught in all schools in the higher classes in India as part of the central board curricula. But exactly to echo Jen's sentiments, I have two girls who are just passing out and, going to colleges. And that entire batch of they come out from supposedly one of the top 5 central board schools in our country. And these kids are extremely bright. I have actually seen the entire bunch of girls. My elder daughter, especially, she is very social and she has been a school captain and everything. So they used to bring a lot of girls home, and all of them are extremely bright people. But when it comes to what they want to do in life, it is max professional ambition that I have seen is medicine. They choose to be doctors and not engineers. And I, being a very passionate engineer, and I used to be very friendly with them, so I kept on pushing them that, at least go into design, right? Systems design, something where you can use your creativity and still be a good engineer, right? So there is a mindset problem, I think, amongst parents, amongst the society, that girls are very good caregivers. So in medicine there is an element of caregiving, right? So they make fantastic doctors, but for some reasons, and all these girls were fantastic in math till 10th or 12th standard. So then what actually stops them suddenly for, becoming dumb in math, post 12th? And my younger daughter, in fact, she actually loves calculus, and she actually has got some University of Sydney, graduation program level calculus program where she scored some 98%, and through Coursera. So these kind of, I think extreme lack of role models, first of all, and their parents, everything begins at home. We keep blaming schools that, schools don't encourage enough and all that. Everything has to start from home. I think parents themselves, we have seen twins, boy and girl. The boy has been sent abroad for studying computer science, computer engineering, and the girl is doing fashion. They're twins. Can you beat that? They have now been torn apart across 2 different continents. One is here, being with parents, being a very lovey-dovey kiddo. And the other is, the boy is somewhere far away studying computer engineering. And who told those parents that the girl is, not good in math and the boy only knows math? And I mean, I feel very, very involved about this, because these kids, I have seen them since they were like 2-year-olds, right? So it's so much of waste of, female talent because of all these kind of biases that women do not do math well, good in coding, these kind of nonsensical arguments that parents have, and societies, in fact, it's a group think, I think, that we need to break. And it's much harder than what we imagine.
Okay, so we still have a lot of challenges finding role models, changing the bias mindset, especially at home. And with that, we need the media help to assist us to open this mindset. But I think we have great role model right here in WEDO at this moment, and Sui with Jane in Indonesia. So one last question before Michela will close the session for us. So Jane and Dr. Tapati, what is your advice for women that want to embark into this journey similar to yours? Go ahead, Jane.
I guess just try, just get your feet wet in that first, just go in. And like, honestly, when I didn't even know that I wanted to study engineering. My parents, both of my parents are not engineers, so they never pushed me in that field. I find out that I like about it because I can do math, and I saw our neighbors who are all boys own a Lego, like while I was small. I asked my parents, my mom, can I buy a Lego? And she's like, why? You're a girl, you don't play Lego. I'm like, it's so cool. I want it. So, and it's funny. Yeah, like Dr. Tapati said, it's from the parents. So I was not really exposed there. And luckily, it was one of my cousin who started. He actually was older than me, and he studied engineering. So when he asked me what I want to learn, and I said, I don't know, but I like math, and I like science. And he's like, oh, why don't you go into engineering? So he was the first one who introduced me to engineering. So without him, I wouldn't even know, to go into engineering.
Okay.
So we do need the exposure. And if you want to learn, we don't have to do, for adults who are already taking business or other majors or entrepreneurs, you don't have to go through the whole 4 years school. Now there's so many classes. If you just, do a little bit of coding here, or mechanical there, right now is amazing with technology that you can learn from anywhere, everything. Then just get your hands wet there and find people who are experts in that field, and you can learn a little bit, so we don't have to go through the whole engineering degree to be able to work in engineering field, the technology. I think that's where the future is going, right? Even with anything, it will involve technology. So it's always good to learn the technology.
Thank you. Yes, I think that's the way to future, is that we have to understand the technology, not just using it, but creating it, right? To be part of the conversation as well. Dr. Tapati, the last question. what highlights or takeaway that we have to know if we want to have the same journey as yours?
Oh, absolutely. The first thing that I will say to compliment Jane's view, never run away from a class, even if you are the only girl there. So, in fact, the friends that I made during my engineering training, they have still remained my best friends. And I think, it feels very bad to say it this way, but leveraging the good men in our lives as friends, as fathers, yeah, as uncles, as cousins, I think that is an extremely important thing, because we understand each other's problems, but we cannot solve it just by ourselves. So men need to be, worked upon, probably if required. And I think most of us are married. We are very good at that, right? So if we have done it with one, we should be able to do it with
many.
And especially when we have girl children, or even if we have sons, their girlfriends. I'm not saying girlfriends, but friends who are girls. So we should, in fact, try to be as little of an inspiration as possible. If they don't get it from their families, if they get it from their friends' families, no harm done, right? So whichever way we leverage the good men in our lives. I have been very lucky. For example, I was a single child. My father never treated me like a girl, right? So he actually pushed me into changing the tube lights of the house to everything that any son could have done for him. So, that is, probably what gave me the courage to say it's fine to be the single woman in a class of 40. And no boys ever bullied me. So that was, that's something that I would say. And the first thing that coming back to the first question, that women need to be very courageous to get into the deep tech field, and to be very proud of the fact that we are better, probably in some cases, than most boys when it comes to math. And there's no shame in loving calculus, being a girl, and getting patents on all the ideas that we get. Women are always very we are very conservative, right? So I read somewhere that men, in fact, they get 30% of an idea, and they are telling the whole world that we have kind of climbed Everest. But women, till the time we are at 80% of something, we don't feel like talking about it. But I don't think that's the way forward. We should be as open as possible. We should communicate our ideas. We should take patents, and we should start very early, being in school. And I think studying Coursera kind of stuff, Udemy kind of stuff, getting graduation level math skills, absolutely necessary for girls to shine.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Tapati, Jane. Great insight, great takeaways from for everybody. And I asked Michela to close it, but before that, if you want to connect with Dr. Tapati or Jane, Jane already put the connection email in the chat room, and you can always connect with them through LinkedIn. Go ahead, Michela, you can close the session.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I feel so empowered already. I feel like I'm in a new form of women Avengers right now. We're actually, I think sometimes this is, we are not connected to each other. And this is what, I think as first ever WEDO Asia, this is the first step of mission that we have accomplished. We have connected with each other, and this is just the beginning. And, what Dr. Tapati said, it starts at home. So be like Patricia and Jane and Dr. Tapati, get your kids to learn engineering, technology, AI, let them be exposed to it and encourage everyone. So moving forward, we are going to go into our last sessions, and I will bring it to Dr. Nisha. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michela. Thanks so much, Patricia. Yeah, so moving on to our last session, which is on women entrepreneurs in technology-based impact businesses. I would like to invite Ms. Won Leong and Alamanda. Yeah, are you both here?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, I don't know why the system is showing the names different.
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me
I'm changing, yeah.
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 Well, Amanda, thank you so much for staying up so late for us. It's midnight there for her.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. It's my
So sorry
pleasure.
about
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no problem.
Yeah, may I invite Juan here?
Hello, hi.
Hi, Juan. Good afternoon to you. Let me just pin everyone.
Amanda, where are you now? In the States?
Yeah, I'm currently in Chicago. So
Oh my
it's
gosh, it's so
11:30
cold there.
p.m. Yeah, it's cold.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and attendees, let me introduce our next panel speakers. So we have Von Leong here, and she's based out of Singapore. She is a sustainable tech investor and strategic advisor, co-founder and general partner of Purpose Venture Capital. She believes in the power of purpose, people, technology to change the world. Winner of the Advocate of the Year and Women in IT Awards Asia. She is also a board member and advisory on multiple organizations. And she is also an organizational psychologist by training. She supports entrepreneurs, families, and philanthropists in their growth and development. Winner of the Advocate, she hopes to inspire more women of all ages to develop careers and ventures in technology. Welcome, Von. So grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
We have Alamanda. Alamanda is the founder of Binar Academy. She always had passion for STEM. And in 2014, she actually accepted the invitation to work in Gojek. And at that time, in fact, Gojek was a small startup. But then while she was working there and led the product team, she built 14 products during her 2-year tenure at Gojek. And now she has moved on to help the entrepreneurs and startups, and she's leading a movement called 1,000 Startups in Indonesia, and also the founder of Binar Academy. So welcome, Alamanda.
Thank you, Doctor.
For coming here. Yeah, so I'll make this session as a discussion and interactive session. So it will be like a fireside chat, talking to you and asking you questions. So I'll start with Juan first. Juan, my first question to you is, with what purpose you started Purpose Venture Capital? The name is so good, Purpose Venture Capital. And what was your inspiration for that?
Okay, firstly, Purpose Venture Capital is not a fund, not like a typical VC fund. This is why I don't call myself a venture capitalist, and for good reason. I see myself as a social entrepreneur and an impact investor, and I'll tell you a little bit why. We took the opportunity because when we searched for domain name and Purpose Venture Capital was available, so we just that's why we are called Purpose Venture Capital. The word purpose is very important to me because I find purpose and meaning in everything I do. I'm at the age of 50 next year. I'll celebrate my 50th birthday, and my eldest child has already graduated, and my youngest child is doing her A-levels, going to university next year. So I'm at the point in my life where I say, what's the point of my life? So for my past corporate career and the government, I used to fund lots of social enterprises and charities. And what frustrates me a lot is the fact that every time we give out a fund, for some reason, it does not translate into operational efficiency or meaningful growth. What I mean by meaningful growth is that there might be some direct impact for certain clients or beneficiaries or customers, but it doesn't go in scale. So the question for me was then say, what sort of models will we or ventures that we can see, projects that we can make it into scale so that it becomes, because I have a sense of urgency because of the pandemic, there's inequalities and economic inequalities is such a state for a lot of vulnerable communities, especially underserved communities like women, right? So, or informal workers, for example. Then the question to me is, how do you then bring about a scale in the form of technologies and innovation. So along with my co-founders, who are two people who are used to asking for money because they were in investment banking and wealth management, and they then say, why don't we come together as a team to now start to invest in sustainable technologies to hopefully do our small little part in bringing capital to impact.
Okay, thank you so much. Just a bit off track question. You mentioned that you are turning 50 this year. What do you do to maintain yourself?
As you can sense, I have lots of energy. But for those who are really interested, I do have a cognitive dysfunction. I'm a ADHD. That makes me hyperactive more than average person. But when you become this age, you're a little bit more measured and more calm. But if you meet me 25 years ago, I'm running everywhere.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, so Alamanda, a similar question to you as well. Like, what's your main inspiration behind Binar Academy? Is that how you pronounce it, Binar or Binar?
Yes, Binar Academy.
And is it like coding with a heart that you founded, right? So what's your inspiration?
Yeah, thank you so much, Doc. And yeah, I think it's not a coincidence that I'm sharing a stage with Fawn, because my second book title is Purpose Living in the Process. So yeah, I think it's because this is my purpose of life. So before I go into depth, so Binar Academy is we're building talents for digital economy, and we are an end-to-end platform for upskilling, seamless hiring, and managing talents. So we help individuals and also enterprises thriving in this digital transformation era. And I think the main inspiration behind why I built Binar Academy and why I landed in this like education journey. So I hated school when I was a kid. So I kept like skipping class to learn computer at home, from coding, design to making music. So I found like a freedom of learning when I learned by myself, not like in school. So I feel like we are used to being judged by teachers when we make mistakes. And I think as a result, we are scared to learn because we are worried about making mistakes, when in fact learning happen when we fail, right? So I always dreamed to reimagine the school since I was a kid. So I think that learning must be fun, not something that you care about. So we have to move forward past one way learning, and I think utilizing the technology. So since I was a kid, I wanted to create a space that put the human component and the students' social emotional well-being in the forefront of designing the learning experience. I wanted to create a space where people can learn in a safe space, safe environment. And I wanted to create a space where people can find their natural ability of learning, because I always believe that everyone is a natural learner. So in Binar Academy, we built an innovative learning experience along with technology. We use like a synchronous and synchronous learning. We built our own localized content with Bahasa Indonesia, because our promise is to build a non-boring on-demand content. So we built our own framework on how best deliver content in video, reading material, etc. So our non-boring content consists of animation. Even we have like a sitcom, drama, just like watching Netflix. Because we knew that only 1 from 10 people in Indonesia love to read. So we turn our content a lot with like analogical reasoning and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the second reason, it was when I was in Gojek in 2014. It was the hardest time for me to find talents with updated knowledge. and digital talents, of course, because no one talk about UI UX or even like product management in 2014 in Indonesia. So I think Indonesia faces a huge gap in digital talents. So because there's a mismatch between the content taught in university with what the industry needs. So as a practitioner in the digital industry, I feel like I need to create relatable content to develop the next generation of digital talents. And the last thing that always inspired me to build a high quality education is because of education is very expensive. High quality education is very expensive, especially in Indonesia. So I wanted to create education that can be accessed by everyone, despite of geographical and economical background. So yeah, this where always technology can play a part to giving access to everyone.
Thank you so much. Very inspiring. I actually liked what you said, that failures are actually not failures. They are the stepping stones. And through that, we learn a lot. And secondly, you mentioned that, yes, if the teaching is engaging, then students really learn. And that is the methodology of teaching should not be just reading, because we as humans, we actually learn through our eyes, through our ears, through our hands, and through various sources. So I totally agree with that. And being an educator myself for the past 22 years or so, I have been dealing with different kinds of students at various levels. And I keep modifying the curriculum and the ways, the methodologies that I use for my teaching. So very interesting. And I'll ask you more questions about, about the curriculum later. So one, moving on to the next question, I would like to know, in fact, I think I contacted you earlier for 1 or 2 projects as well. So I would like to know, what criteria do you adopt in investing, and especially in women-led tech businesses?
Oh, okay. Now, I invest in a lot of women. 45% of my portfolio actually is in women-led businesses. They they have a co-founder that is led by a female. Having said that, I am not sector or gender agnostic. I want to be very, very clear about that. I don't invest in a company because you are me, you are having the same gender as me, because then the whole diversity conversation should never exist. Because we're already trying to advocate for more women to come on boards and be in leadership positions. And so when we take the lens of investment, we should not apply the same, because it can backfire on us, right? And I'm more of an action-oriented person. So what that means is that if you want to prove your investment thesis on profit and purpose, okay, then you need to make sure that the profitability dimension needs to come in very strongly, okay? Having said that, today, you can never run a business without having the sustainability at the core of your strategy and your operations. Because there's a lot, it's not just about responsibilities, but it's also about how you deliver your products, your services, how you're going to make sure that you, when you serve a certain population, you don't underserve or do damage to another population or to the environment. So those are the kind of purpose that we're thinking about. And one of the ways to think about that is obviously your United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. If you can go through 17 of them, each of them have their own indicators, you will find that they are quite easy to follow. And I'm quite sure with all the problems in the world, and if you focus on one of those goals, you can identify a very specific purpose for yourself. It could be, in the case of Amanda, education access, for all, right? Especially for women, right? Using technology as an enabler or multiplier. right? But it could be also good health and well-being, which is also one of the core element that I'm personally very interested in. Sustainable cities and communities, more effective production and consumption, or more sustainable consumption. Those are the areas I'm personally very interested in. So then I ask myself the question is, what will be the kind of technologies or emerging technologies that I should be investing in, or my team should be investing in, to then drive this sustainable development goals, So, you'll be like AI, you'll be like synthetic biology, you'll be like certain type of technologies that will bring us to the next leap. So those are kind of at the technology front, at the mindset and the philosophy front. But I also want to say very closely is that when we come to investments, where I'm a people person. I'm trained as a psychologist, by training. So I focus on spending time with people like Michelle, Amanda, the founders what drives them, what motivates them. In the case of Michelle, she adopted a zero-waste philosophy into her strategy, business model, and operations, and how she hire people, for example. And that is and great for me, because at the end of the day, my job is not to tell them what to do. My job is to give them the enabling force or the driving capital to support them in their growth, right? So it's really about investing in the person, in the founding team, as well as the purpose that they're trying to, and their visions of what a purposeful venture they're going to develop. So at the end of the day, I'm not just investing in technology, but it's mainly purpose and person.
That's really awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for explaining that. And we all women who are hearing this session today, they will keep in mind, when they approach sustainable finance that they are raising, right? So, and as we know that even the UN, when they say that the projects are enough, actually plenty of projects are being done, but at a smaller level. What we need finance and technology both to scale up those projects, right? So all the sustainable projects. Yeah, do you agree? Yeah.
Yes, I do have a comment about that, but I prefer to let Amanda answer this question, because I think you will have a follow-on question about what are the tips, right? And what will be the final words for the entrepreneurs? Because I think the reason why women do not get the funding, not purely because sometimes we women do not know how to negotiate, that's one, or do not dare to approach, that's one. But also not because sometimes we have more white men sitting in the investment round, but also because we women are not ambitious enough. We do not go for the ask. We do not aim for the sky. We think that we need to start from a small project, prove ourselves first, and then we go ahead. I think the speaker before me, the doctor, was talking about going for the leap, going for the ask. I think that's the first step.
Yes, I totally agree with that also. Yes, totally. And, being an entrepreneur myself, I'm also scared to, to be more ambitious than what I can achieve in a small little zone of mine. Yeah. So moving to the next question with Amanda, you have worked with Gojek, and Gojek is actually moved on to become a unicorn. So what are your learnings of working in a startup and then seeing that startup grow? What would you like to share with the women here?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nisha. So I think first, being women and like a unicorn, the first unicorn startup, I think the tips is I never separated myself. I don't put myself in a box, because I think the notion of technology is a man's field doesn't exist anymore, at least in my generation. So I think it's just an illusion for now, and because I never experienced what stereotype has told us. I never felt discriminated in this industry. So I guess everything starts in our mind. So that's from the female side, but from like the startup, small startup into like now a giant unicorn. We started with only like 5 people on my team, on my tech team. we built like 6 applications in only 4 months. I was doing everything like from designing the UI UX, product management, coding, and so on. So I think in a very early days, what I learned from my CEO, which is Nadiem Makarim, is to put the right people in the right place at the right time, and not telling them what to do, just tell them the vision and where we are going, and they will figure out what's next. I think that's the most important lesson that I got from Nadiem. And I think we launched the 3 first product in January 2015, and we only had Go Shop, Go Write, Go Send, and we managed to launch 11 new products in only 1.5 years. And I think I tell this story over and over again because I'm very proud, because one of my product, which is GoFood, was launched even before Uber Eats. Uber launched Uber Eats. So I'll tell this story a little bit, where when I found the idea of GoFood. So 3 months after I launched Gojek, I was ordering food using Go Shop, which is still very manual. I was in my friend's house, so I didn't know the restaurant nearby. So I need to go to Google to find the restaurant and go back to Go Shop, input the name and address manually. And sometimes I need to call the restaurants for the available menus. And I told Nadiem, why don't we just have the list of the restaurant in Jakarta and the menu in our app? And in only like 2 months, we launched GoFood. But the thing is, even the restaurant didn't know what Gojek is. So we didn't approach the restaurant, and then we didn't ask them to be our merchant. We just scrapping data from the internet, scrapping data from Zomato, and then we just put it on our database. And so yeah, we didn't acquire any merchant at all at first. So I think this way of building food delivery has solved the chicken and egg problem of acquiring merchants, because when we first acquire merchants, the merchant will ask you how many customers you've acquired, but you still don't have any customers. And the customer will churn if you don't have enough restaurant options, right? But yeah, here's the thing. In Gojek, it was not really hard for us to innovate, because we are the customers. I'm the daily customers of Gojek. But if you're not your customers, I think you definitely have to sit down and talk to your customers very often. I think that's also the key learning that I got from Gojek. And when I built the app for the drivers, I sit down with the drivers on the street and ask them about their life. So I learn about their behavior, and then I can create the right and the product that will fit with their problems. So yeah, I think that's my takeaway from Gojek.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Focus on the customers and focus on the stakeholders actually really helps in building any product that you're working on. Thank you so much. I just got to know that Vaughn has a hard stop at 2 p.m. So I will not take much of her time, and I'll continue with Amanda if you're okay. I'll just ask Vaughn the last question, that the key message for female tech entrepreneurs here.
Okay, so I was a judge for the AmCham Women Heroes Award or Heroes Award last night. First in-person event. No, I think the third in-person event after for a long time, which is very exciting in Singapore. But what I wanted to say is that I was asked the same question, and I like to give the same answer. But it seems that this question has been asked many times, and this answer has been repeated many times. But for some reason, women are not doing it. So, so I think we need to question ourselves why we are not doing it. I think I want to give the practical side of things. So earlier on, I mentioned I was in a corporate career, I was in a government career, and now I'm a private investor, and I'm using my own money, by the way, and my friends' money. I'm not fundraising for a venture capital fund where I am an allocator, or analyst. So I need to be very passionate about how I can use my money to deliver greater positive impact for the causes that I care about, be it education or healthcare, for example. So in this case, when you're asking somebody to part with their money and what aligns them, these are the things you need to think about. Firstly, are you truly a tech entrepreneur? If, for example, the entrepreneur who asked me this question has been running a marketing agency for a long time, and she's actually quite a strong authority in this space, but she has never really pivoted into the digital era. Okay, she might deliver solutions for clients in the digital space, but her business has not really moved into the digital era, neither has really using technology as a core business or a core business strategy. So it doesn't matter if you're delivering impact, you'll be viewed as a charity or a social enterprise. And so go to the governments, go to the development finance institutions. They have very specific, a lot of money to give away to social enterprises. But do not expect VCs or private investors, family offices to give you the time and the day and the patience to go through your pitch deck. Be very realistic about who you're approaching. I think one of the questions that we couldn't answer today is, why would my investors come along with me? I think that you must help your investors to make some kind. At the end of the day, investors are in there to get a return, and the return can be 10x, 5x, but there must be some x. Meaning you have to have a business model that makes sense. You have tokens or dollars. And it also must. But in my case, I'm looking for purposeful venture. That is the first criteria. But beyond that, you need to show that your technology, your solution does deliver the positive impact, but it can give you the 10x growth or the scale. But if you are going to be happy just being a small enterprise, medium enterprise, or even for most women, they love to become a solopreneurs, that's fine. But do not claim to be a tech entrepreneur when you are not using technology or science or engineering to deliver those impact. Because then you will never be able to find the kind of a growth capital to support you. So it's not about fundraising, it's about what sort of business will have a right fundraising strategy and therefore attract the right investors to go along the journey with you. So I hope this is useful and helpful, because we're going in circles. We are like saying, why people are not funding me? Instead, showing and ask yourself, product market fit, right? So Amanda spent a lot of real time in making that product works, and asked her, we learned from her. She has a very strong thought process, and that thought process is really, you must tailor either your company to the market. If the VC market is looking for certain things, you need to deliver that. If not, you can't attract those capital. It's the same thing if you're a social enterprise. Go to the governments, go to the development finance institutions, go to the philanthropists. They are happy to hear you out, but do not expect the 3x or the 10x type of capital to scale you, because that's not the sort of money you should be looking for anyway. So all the best, everybody. because we overrun, right, the panel before me. So I'm so sorry I have to leave, but I've been enjoying the sessions before that. I would love to get in touch. Please connect with me at vaughan@purposeventurecapital.com. I have 45% portfolio of women founders. I love to increase to 50% next year. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Amanda, please LinkedIn with me.
Thanks, Vaughn. Will do.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So I'll continue with Amanda. What's the next question? What's your vision on Binar Academy, and what role you think women can play in IT and entrepreneurships?
Yeah, so I think interesting part in Binar Academy, we never had like a women specific event or women specific program. So we just open for everyone. And but on the background, we kept growing our women facilitator. Right now we have 11% month-on-month growth on our women facilitator. So currently we have 46% of women facilitators in Binar. And in fact, we also gained 30% growth from our first year into this year, which in our first year, we only had 10% women students, and currently we have 40% of women students. And we conduct interview and survey to our women participants, and we ask them why they're joining Binar. And the reason why is only because they see a lot of women facilitators in Binar, and they said that why the facilitator can do that, I also can do that. So I think that's the key takeaways on how I inspired other women to be participating in technology and also building startups. I think I have a different way to inspire them. So I always like inspired them by showing the impact that I created, like rather than just creating another women events, because it's proven in Binar we can gain 30% growth in only like 3 years. So yeah, that's my key takeaways on how can we grow more women participation in the technology industry. But in terms of our visions in Binar is to create 10 million digital leaders by 2030, especially in Indonesia. And we were born to offer an industry-driven curriculum and again, innovative approach that makes learning fun and enjoyable at an affordable price. So our promise is we will always learn about the human brain, the cognitive science behind learning, so we can create the best learning experience that we can. And we are the first edtech in Indonesia who built a mobile-only learning experience. Why we only built the mobile learning experience? Because one day I want to see students from rural area use their phone to learn digital skills instead of browsing Instagram or TikTok. So yeah, I think that's my biggest dream, to move them into Binar app instead of Instagram or TikTok. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. In fact, if I don't know, in the first session we had Ilyana, and she teaches actually dance to the kids and the children. And she also mentioned the same thing, that children are actually stuck. And, all of us, not just children, I would say all of us are spending more time on the social media And then it would be nice if we can move away from social media and learn new things. So that's really wonderful. I'm actually intrigued to see your curriculum and see, would be interesting if we can collaborate for WEDO Women with your academy. It will be really nice. We can launch some programs for women entrepreneurs or potential women entrepreneurs, and especially, and same with Jane also. So Jane, thank you for sharing the competition details. We will definitely would like to collaborate with you for WEDO initiatives in future. So thank you so much. I now hand over, thanks Alamanda, thank you so much. I now hand over to Louis for presenting the vote of thanks to everyone. Yeah, thank you so much.
Wow, what a inspiring and motivating moment. This whole journey from this morning. Usually, I get hungry at about 12 o'clock, but today, it just went on and on. I think, because we are feeding off so many inspiration, time and moment sharing, right, by the speakers. I would not go into every one of you because I think everybody have, sort of like stretch a bit of time here. But thank you all for attending today's session at WEDO Summit 2021. We are very happy to be, part of this organization, and we invite you to join us. Reach out to us in our different countries. We will be happy, to put you on our list, and we would have many events to come. And I would like to make a special mention to Dr. Nisha Kohli as the Asia ambassador for WEDO, for putting together such an amazing and inspirational event. Actually, today what I see is a very confident, ladies coming together. I'm actually quite touched and sort of moved. Never before I see women coming together in such great power and selfless and confident in coming together and sharing their experience. I really do hope that this is not one-off. I hope that we don't need to wait for the next year for Summit. I'm sure the country's ambassadors that have sort of like delivered their speeches today would love to come together, continue bringing this platform to the next level so that people could come, and share freely, encourage each other, because we are in a very challenging time. We are, still in a part of the pandemic, and there's a Chinese saying, crisis, 危机. So there's two Chinese words coming together. It means crisis, but when you take it out separately, 危 means danger, you're threatened, but 机 means there's opportunity. So when you're threatened in an environment or adversity, there is always people like us that is fearless and dare to dream, and this is where the opportunity arrives. So with that note, I would end this with thanks to all the audience, as well as the panelists, as well as our organizers. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. I've actually, got all our ambassadors here, added the pins to them, and would request you all to put your videos on so we can do woohoo once before we end the session, right?
Group photo.
Okay. Yes, group photo and say woohoo, right? So okay, 1, 2, 3, woohoo!
You have to be like certain action, like.
Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a good day ahead and good year.
We'll be in touch to collaborate.
Yes,
Thank you
we are
so
looking
much,
forward to
everybody. Thank you, Nisha.
Everyone.
Looking forward to
Great
more
to
such
meet
events.
all of you. Thanks,
Great.
Nisha. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye.